This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty, yes, sir. We are live. We are ready to rock and roll on a beautiful Thursday, coming to you live from Toyota of Hollywood. I always seem to startle somebody when we start the show, and we kept the tradition going as we always do. And welcome aboard, all of you out there. We are ready to rock. I think we don't have any audio issues today. I think we're good. So we're ready to go.
New chords and updates, man.
Yep. Today we find out the NFL schedules. So that's good. We'll get to find out where the Dolphins are going to be. The good thing is, now watching a 3-hour schedule show, I can't do that on the NFL Network.
You're not going to be sitting on the edge of your seat, man.
No. But I will tell you this. The Miami Dolphins are doing their own show, only a half hour, from 7:30 to 8 on Facebook, their Facebook Dolphins page. You know, that's not bad. I can do that just so I can – I mean, that's all I really care about, right? The national schedule, I'll wait till they print an article out, or maybe I'll watch SportsCenter at 11 o'clock, and they'll talk about the few highlighted dates, and that's it. But for me to sit there for 3 hours, dude, no, man. I'll watch some television. There's all kinds of different things that I can watch on TV right now. Way better than 3 hours for a schedule show.
Weird question.
Just hear a bunch of people talk. I have a life, you know what I mean? But I love how they're allowing the local teams to do their own show, and that's pretty cool.
If you had to choose between Korean baseball for 3 hours or the schedule.
Oh, no, schedule.
Okay, you would still.
Yeah, no, I would, because the schedule matters to me.
Okay.
I don't care about Korean.
The live,
I don't care about Korean baseball, dude. I just don't care. It just,
Even though it's live sports, no.
I'll give you an example, and it's here in this country now, okay? I follow the MLS, but it was kind of half-assed, to be honest with you. I didn't follow it religiously. Now, do you think I'm going to follow the MLS now religiously? Of course. Why? Because we have a team now in Inter Miami. When we had the Miami Fusion, I was all into the MLS. Knew every team, every player, every coach, everything, okay? I followed it heavily. I will now again, but since we lost the Fusion until we got Inter, I kind of lost all my interest in it. Why? Because we don't have a dog in the race.
Yep.
So if I don't have a horse in the race, a dog in the race, a cockroach in the race, I am not in. And so why do I care about Korean baseball, bro? I don't give a rat's ass. I don't care if they never play a game again in Korea of baseball. Doesn't matter to me. It doesn't affect me. You know what I mean? So I think you have to have absolutely no life to be watching Korean baseball. I think I've already said that yesterday, but now here's the part that pisses me off about what's going on with the schedule. Now, can we get to the meat of the matter? Because I think we'll talk a little bit about it tomorrow on the show in anticipation of what I just said now of what I think is going to end up happening, because John Clayton broke a story that the NFL is scheduling the divisional games on the back end, on the second half of the schedule. And that the front end is going to have a lot of the non-conference games. Well, we want to go to Vegas. I want to go to the Raiders game in Vegas. I really do. And I want to go for 2 weeks out there. So the question is, the schedule will come out, and then I don't know if I should make plane reservations right away or because if they don't allow fans in the stands, then maybe fans are in the stands on the back end of the year because we've progressed with testing and all that stuff. But on the front end, if you are going to have the road games, which the road games, I wrote them down, are, let's see here, Jacksonville, Buffalo, the Jets, New England. Road games are, Jacksonville, Buffalo, the Jets, New England, Arizona, San Francisco, Denver, and Las Vegas. Okay? Home games are Rams, Seahawks, Cincy, Chargers, along with the divisional games. So you're going to hit the road for Arizona, San Francisco, Denver, and Las Vegas in the first part of the year. And we may not be through the COVID thing that allows us to travel to those games. Now, that sucks. You know what I mean? I look, the Vegas one is, you could actually go out to Vegas just to enjoy Vegas, even watch the game at a sports bar in a hotel somewhere, and still have a great time. You know what I mean? You could kind of get away with that if you really wanted to, but you're not at the game. And that's kind of part of the trick, that I want to be at the new stadium, man. I want to watch the Dolphins kick their ass, and then go to the Strip and have some fun and hang out the rest of the Dolphin fans after the game. We'll have, obviously Tommy Rockers will be able to hang out as a headquarter for all of us in the Dolphin Nation. But that's the one thing that's depressing. You know what I mean? Because we already had our draft ruined on the Vegas side because we couldn't travel, couldn't be out there together, couldn't do all that experience. We got the draft at least, which is cool. I'm happy with that. But it would have been nice if it would have been a Vegas draft and we all would have been together. And so now what happens if that Vegas game is early in the season and we don't have the opportunity to actually go to Vegas, man? That would really, really suck if we're not able to pull that off, And again, these are things that are out of our control. We can't do anything about it. And you know that if they get to the point where they have a limitation on fans, a small percentage, we have no shot, because they'll probably give their own season ticket holders the first dibs on those kind of things. And by the way, that's very understandable that your season ticket holders get the first shot at those random seats, because if let's say you're only limited to 10, 15, 20,000 people, how do you pick them? You know what I mean? So you're going to have some kind of lottery system, so that way all the season ticket holders have an equal opportunity at going to the games and attending them. Again, I don't even know how the NFL is going to handle all this craziness when you're going to have to limit fans or no fans whatsoever. And think about this. They're already talking about that if there are no fans this year in the stands, it would also hurt the cap going into next season. So a lot of these teams that maybe were depending on the cap to grow another 5, 8, 10, 12, $14 million, and it doesn't, and it stays the same or it goes down a little bit, they lose a lot of flexibility. Miami is still in the rebuilding mode, so it's not going to affect Miami nearly as much as some of these other teams, because Miami will still have plenty of cap space next year one way or another. But again, they're through. They're not really about spending in free agency that much. I think, especially next year, I don't think that there'll be like these big players in free agency. I think it'll be more about the draft to kind of, add to the team and kind of build that foundation. I think they did most of their big damage, especially Jones, in free agency in this year. I don't think they'll do it next year when it's all said and done. So Dolphins doing their own show at 7:30 on Facebook, and then the NFL Network will do theirs at 8 o'clock with all the bells and whistles. And, I mean, listen, it's not like Korean baseball that I think you're probably like a giant loser if you're watching Korean baseball. Seriously, I just really, come on, man. Do something with the family. Go walk. Do anything but watch Korean baseball. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to say the same thing about you if you want to watch the NFL schedule show. I personally can't sit there for 3 hours to watch it, but what is there on? So if you don't feel like watching another movie on Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever, I get it. If you just want to watch the NFL, schedule show, and you know what, you could probably do what Bill and his old man do all the time. I think smart people do this. They record whatever they're going to watch, and they start it late so they could just keep watching the segments and speed through all the breaks. You know what I mean? So if it's a 3-hour show, you figure let it go for an hour, and you start watching at 9, and you'll watch 9 to 11 pretty much nonstop because it'll be easily an hour of commercials in 3 hours. So that's kind of the way you do it. If you want to do it that way, I think that's a really smart way of doing things because I do that all the time with show. Like I know when I'm watching a 1-hour show, I don't start, like it's at 8 o'clock it starts, I'll start at 8:20 because I know it's going to have around 20 minutes of commercials in the hour on TV at least. And so I know that I'll be able to speed through all the breaks and the show will end at the top of the hour at the same time I do, which is cool. You know what I mean? So that's always a great way of watching events or movies or whatever is let it run a little bit, then speed through them.
The only thing with the live sports, I will tell you, be careful picking up your phone.
Right.
Because if it automatically goes to the score or somebody's phone call, it's like.
Well, if you're a social media nut like me,
Yeah,
you know already. You train yourself like, okay, stay away from it, and don't look it up and whatever. And then I won't. The only thing I'll do is post something that I want to post, but I won't look at anything. I'll just post and go, and that's it.
You don't want to end up like Jerry Seinfeld in that one.
Yeah.
La 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 la.
Right. Exactly. So I understand if those of you want to watch the schedule show. I get it. And there's a lot of fans that want to travel and make plans and things like that, but I don't know how you make any plans right now. I really don't. And you got to be careful because you don't get refunds on some airlines. And they may even tell you ahead of time, hey, you cannot cancel this flight. You can only get a credit or whatever. And that's kind of the trick that you run into with all of this. But I will say this. The Vegas one is still tempting. If Vegas is open, I still could go to it just for the hell of it. Just because it's Vegas, go out for a couple of days. Right? What do you think? Maybe.
You know what?
Possibility?
You know what it is?
Because we get to gamble and we get to watch the games at a sports book or something, even if they don't let us in specifically, but we can still kind of, I don't know, maybe there'll be enough Dolphins that'll go to Vegas to watch the game even in hotels. Maybe
that we'll have to go and make an appearance and hang with the crew.
And maybe we all meet at Tommy Rocker's to watch the game all together. Since we can't be in the stadium, we'll all be together at a sports bar.
The only thing, obviously, like you were trying to.
What do you think about that, guys?
Ladies, what do we do? Going to have to be in a holding pattern depending on how far along we are.
Oh,
all of it. Yeah.
Dude, all of this is unknown.
Yeah.
All of it is an unknown.
You can't honestly jump in because there's too many variables.
Right.
And it's not worth ultimately possibly risking your life. Sorry.
Yeah. NorCal chiming in with the little Metallica. Thank you, sir. All right. Fan King Metal. Ian from Brooklyn says, I'm listening, Big O and Bill. Let's go. Starting Mofos, Big O sounds great. Bill is a stud. There you go. Bromar Smelly says, I'm throwing a party tonight for the NFL schedule release. I mean, again, I don't blame you. It's,
We were supposed to have a draft party. We're supposed to celebrate those 3 days. Like you're bottled up and you're ready to explode, right? So you got a party.
Yeah. I'll make fun of you if you're watching Korean baseball or like Pellegrino's putting on Korean baseball, Korean soccer, LOL, that kind of stuff. NorCal says San Fran, Arizona are games week 1 and 2. I saw that, but I don't know if that's confirmed, if that's the rumor or not. And so that buys us a little more time for Vegas, doesn't it? Although I would love to go to the San Fran game, man. I was hoping it was going to be San Fran, Vegas back to back. That'll be cool. So if it is San Fran, Arizona, then it could be Vegas, Denver.
Yeah, and that would
right.
that would be
All right.
that would be okay.
I got no problem with that.
No, sir.
No problem with that. Let's see. Jay Johnson says, best place to watch a game on TV, best view. Yeah, I mean, with TV is always the best. You're right about that. Mike No Go Zones loves the Metallica shirt. Thank you. Already getting a lot of love for the Metallica shirt. Appreciate you all out there. Let's see. Flipper 13 is in the house also. Let's see. Ty in the Bronx is in the house. Matthew Walker is in the house. I'm watching all 3 hours of the schedule. I recorded the Korean baseball. I'll watch it after.
There is one aspect, though. If you're a degenerate gambler, and the only thing is that right now that you can bet on sports-wise, you know what I mean?
I guess.
It's like you're trying to get Korean baseball digests into the house.
Bromar goes, Big O, you doing a show for the Dolphins schedule? Yeah, it'll be tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. That's when we'll be there doing our schedule show, starting at 11 a.m. What up, Big O and Bill? Hope you all are staying safe and hello. There's a rumor about the schedule that it could be the first 4 weeks AFC, NFC. What do you think? Well, we just talked about it. I don't mind that they put the divisional ones in the back end. What I don't like is if it's too early in the season, we're not allowed to travel and be in the games. And that's kind of what we want to do with this show is take it on the road. You know what I mean? That's why we're hoping to grow everything from subscribers, which please subscribe and like, to our downloads, to our sponsors, everything. We're trying to grow so we have, obviously, the funds to be able to cover all this stuff. But, you know, if COVID keeps blocking us, we can't do the draft show. And what if some of those, you know, the Vegas games and the San Fran games and all that, they're early in the season, we can't do those trips. Now, the good thing is the MetLife takeover will be on the back end. And that's a good one right there because we have to go to the MetLife takeover this year. And there'll be a bunch of people there. But the question is, will they allow us? But at least we'll have more time, although it is in New York. So that's going to be,
Wow, man. There's so many variables there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. They've talked about starting the season late and go. I mean, imagine if like week 1 and they say, because they're talking about no preseason games. Week 1 is like in October.
Yeah, October.
Okay.
Middle of October.
Right. So then, you know what's actually, no matter when those first 8 games, you know what I'm like in my head? Denver, we will be there during winter. We may be able to go do some skiing, brother.
Maybe. You never know. That would be cool. I haven't skied in a while. Pellegrino says, don't miss the Zonka Peter King interview. You know what? I haven't seen that. I'll check it out. Thank you for the heads up. Rick Bagley says, appreciate you, Big O. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate all of you out there keeping it locked and always tuning in. Ronnie Grooms, Big O, what's up? R. Roz says, what's up? Duck Dog is chiming in. The Duck Dog is in the house. Troy Ortiz, good morning, Big O, from Portland, Oregon. In your opinion, will we ever see a Zeppelin reunion before they're all dead? No, we won't. And Steve LaFrance says, how you doing, Big O? Thank you. I'll tell you about the biggest problem with the Led Zeppelin reunion is Robert Plant. Robert Plant is not the most receptive person anymore about Zeppelin. He's kind of an ogre about it's almost like he's dying to separate himself, or deep down inside, physically, his voice can't do some of the things that is required to do Zeppelin songs. And that's understandable with his age. At this point, everybody starts to lose their fastball. As you get older and older and older, the things you used to do when you were 20 or 30 or even 40, you can't do anymore. You know what I mean? And I've seen Robert Plant several times, since his Led Zeppelin days. I saw him with Jimmy Page at the Miami Arena. I've seen him solo from Now and Zen to the Maniac Nirvana tour, whatever I think it was called. I've seen him with the Shapeshifters. out in California. So I've seen him plenty of times, and he's so into a lot of his new solo stuff with the shapeshifters, the stuff he did with this lady. What's her name? Damn it, what's her name? I mean, it's not bad music, but it's a lot more mellow. And so Plant hasn't been as accepting of the Zeppelin stuff.
Like a Honey Dripper type. Do you?
Yeah. Well, it's just, weren't you with me?
It's not.
Weren't you
bad
with
music.
me at the Greek Theater?
Yes. He did. What did he do that night? Maybe 5, 6?
About six or seven, maybe Zeppelin songs. But you could tell that his voice.
Oh yeah, he couldn't. Yeah.
It's not this. It's not
that hitting the note and sustaining it all the way through.
Right.
No.
It's funny because people sometimes that are short-sighted, they just look at Greta, right, and then they look at the singer Joshua, and they say, well, he's just copying Plant. Well, he has his Plant influences in his voice. You hear all of his music, you'll see that there are other parts that don't sound like Plant. But the funny part is the stuff that he can do like Plant can't do it anymore. You know what I mean? So it's funny because the people that kind of pick on that band, they should be begging that band to go do a Led Zeppelin tour. Really, seriously. That's what they should do. They should beg the Greta Van Fleet band to, hey, in honor of Zeppelin, can you guys do a tour where you do Zeppelin songs? Because his voice is, pinnacle. And he could do anything that Plant used to do. You know what I mean? And so I think that's why, I think deep down inside, Plant knows that he can't be that rockin' Robert Plant anymore. And so he's kind of become like this negative guy towards Zeppelin stuff. When you see him and hear his interviews, he makes it sound like he matured above it. Like it's beneath him to do Led Zeppelin stuff now, almost. Seriously. So that's why I don't think we'll ever get a Led Zeppelin reunion, which is stupid because we have Plant, we have Page, we have John Paul Jones, and we have Jason Bonham. And Jason Bonham, I get it, dude. John Bonham is John Bonham, and Keith Moon is Keith Moon. I get all of that, bro. And Ginger Baker's Ginger Baker, and I can talk about Neil Peart, and I can talk about all the greatest drummers in the history of mankind. Okay? But Jason Bonham can play his dad's role with no problem, not make a mistake, be just as sharp as his dad. Just like if I wanted to grab Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater, Portnoy is one of the best drummers in the world, bro. He can do anything anybody else can do. Okay, so there are great drummers in the past. I get that. But let's not make it sound like some of the guys that are playing now are slouches and that there's no way they could touch those other guys. Those guys, what makes them great are that they are the pioneers. Not just that they, what makes Michael Jordan great is his championships, but what also makes him great is his mind of how he thought to play the game opened it up for other people. George Gervin did that. Dr. J did that. These kind of guys that started skying and gliding in the air, not just going up, but gliding in the air and then making a couple of moves in the air. These are things that they started. Young guys now are more athletic, and they can do all those things because they learned from the guys that established it, and then now they have that advantage plus medicine and training and everything else that makes them that much better. Just like today's musicians. Today's musicians have all the knowledge of the past that they have right there at their disposal, and then everything else they can come up with. So that's why things do a lot of times get better in some areas. They actually do. And in some areas, you do have greatness that can do some of the things of the past. So Jason Bonham, there is no shame in Jason Bonham doing the drums. I have watched that guy a whole bunch of times. He's a hell of a drummer, bro. Hell of a drummer. He'll never be his dad. Okay. but he can play his dad's role to a T. To a T. So it's all Plant, man.
I'm in shock that you left out Nico McBrain in your listing of
Yeah,
great drop.
but I mean,
I know you try to not homer. I realize that.
Yeah, whatever.
The other thing, you remember us being at the Greek and sitting there, and when we're listening to Robert do Zepp, we both said, you know what, it's awesome to see Robert Plant do it, but Jason Bonham, sorry, his Led Zeppelin experience, the guy that he had in front,
better.
They actually did a better job of Zepp than Robert did.
Yeah.
And it's, like you said, just because of age, and, you got to factor that in.
I don't think Robert's heart is into the Zeppelin music anymore.
You know what?
If
you remember the Atlantic 25th anniversary, he's also such a perfectionist, that if it ain't going to be perfect, he would not want to do any part of it.
That's what it is.
And you saw that he was annoyed because they were using the same sound as Genesis and everybody had used, and he was disappointed. And it's like, that guy, I could see he wouldn't want to do it because he's going to be pissed off the whole tour.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So that's why I don't think you'll ever get one, and it falls all on Plant. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Let's see what else. Good morning, from Portland, Oregon. In your opinion, will we see? I just read the same one. Don't miss the Zonka. Got that again. Hank Goldberg's left nut. Jimmy Page's hands are supposedly pretty shot now, too. Time to move on and just keep our memories. Probably true. I mean, he was kind of sloppy as it was as a player. So I could imagine it might get even worse.
Sloppiest.
And thank you, Mike No Go Zones. Allison Krauss. That's the lady. He did the I have that album and everything. Leo says, did we finally find out what was the issue yesterday? Yes, we did, and that's why it's not happening today. Flipper 13, Led Zepp was my all-time favorite when I was growing up. I don't blame you.
And 80% of the guys, in our age group.
Mario Biovides says they reunited at the O2 Arena a few years ago with Jason Bonham. It was great. Let's see. Matthew Walker says, I'm predicting Miami to have an 8-8 record. That would be fantastic, man. FinFan70 says, saw Led Zeppelin in 1969 at the Atlanta Pop Festival. And Trey Matter says, morning from D.C. And thank you, sir. Thank you for chiming in from the nation's capital, which we love you for tuning in. Love all of you for tuning in and keeping it locked here on the program.
Before we take the break, would just like to say, obviously, yesterday with everything, listening to the podcast and setting it up over at VSS when we're done, I actually got to listen to all the bathroom banter for me, 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
You twisted, bent, y'all fit in. You're part of the show. You fit right in.
We gave a play-by-play while you were in the bathroom.
I love the fact that you got me in an outhouse outside, walking basically the grounds and avoiding landmines from the dogs to go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks. That was nice, man.
That was good.
Very nice. Y'all are twisted and bent. You fit right in. Welcome.
Alexis says, Big O, I saw Ann Wilson do a Zeppelin set, and she was awesome with Jason Bonham. She got a standing O. Well, Hart's favorite band is Led Zeppelin, and they've always done rock and roll. It's been part of their set list forever, okay? Since I was a kid seeing Hart in concert, they would always do a Zeppelin song, and usually 9 out of 10 times it was rock and roll. I've seen them do other songs, so I think I've seen Hart in concert like 20 times. I saw Ann Wilson solo over at the Parker Playhouse a couple of years back, and she did a couple of Zepp songs there too, I remember. But she's always been like Robert Plant to her is, a god, just like she's a goddess. I mean, we're talking about two of the greatest rock and roll voices of all time, Plant and Ann Wilson. I mean, Ann Wilson is as special as it gets when it comes to her voice, man. So good stuff there. All right, let's take a quick break. We do want to remind you, we're at Toyota of Hollywood. I can see Herbie Lopez right there, man. He is ready. He is waiting for you, okay? So when you come on down to buy or lease a vehicle, go see my guy Herbie. Go see all the great people out here. Gary Thompson's out here. I just saw Gary a little bit ago walking around. Rick. Of course, Steve Ostrov is the boss here at Toyota of Hollywood. He is the man that makes it happen, and they've got over 400,000 square feet here, over 1,500 cars and trucks. So now as we're starting to get back to normal again and things are starting to open up, and hopefully now some of you will get back to work, and maybe you've got that car that's been breaking down but you've been holding off. Now's the time. You're going to get 90 days, no payments. So whether you buy or lease a vehicle, you're going to have a 90-day break until you can make that payment. So come on down to 1841 North State Road 7, just a couple blocks south of that giant, beautiful guitar off the turnpike. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with more right here at Toyota of Hollywood.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All righty, we back.
This is the Big O Show.
So anybody see the Earl Thomas situation? Boy, that is one crazy situation. So Earl Thomas got caught cheating on his wife, and he had a gun to his head. So this was a really just out there story, okay? And Earl Thomas, I got to tell you, sometimes, man, I wonder about these players because they say and do some really stupid things that you just wonder what the hell is going on with these people. Do they have any common sense? Do they actually, think about these situations or think about what they're saying? So apparently, Earl Thomas was cheating on his wife, and she held a loaded gun less than a foot from his head after she caught him cheating. This is all on TMZ. It's spelled out in court documents detailing a violent April 13th altercation involving the Ravens player and Nina Thomas and several other people. The Austin Police Department responded to the home in the Austin, Texas area at 3:41 a.m. about getting a call about a disturbance. It's 3:41 a.m. Okay? When cops arrived, they say they observed that a black female was wearing an orange sweater with a knife in her hand, later identified as Nina Thomas, was chasing a shirtless black male, later identified as Earl Thomas, with a pistol in his hand around a vehicle. Cops drew their weapon and ordered Nina and Earl to the ground, and they complied without incident. That's when the investigation began and things got wild. Nina's story, according to court documents, Nina claims Earl, 30, left her home earlier in the day after an argument over the NFL players drinking. She claims Earl's brother Seth picked him up. A short time later, she decided to check on the whereabouts by logging into his Snapchat account. And that's when she said she found a video of Earl with another woman. Nina says she used Earl's Snapchat account to track his location to a nearby Airbnb rental home, and she says she called up 2 other women to help her confront Earl at the pad. Nina also claims, and by the way, there must be some experience from Nina, that if she's going to confront Earl, she needed 2 more women to go with her. That tells me there is a prior history here already of confrontations, right? I mean, if this confrontation's going on at 3 in the morning and he's not home with his wife and he's banging some other chick, this is all you need to know. Nina also claims she grabbed Earl's pistol, a 9mm Beretta, in the process with the intentions to scare him. By the way, no normal woman, no normal wife uses a gun to scare you. Once they use a gun, they're not normal. Just want you to know that, okay? Normal women don't do that. All right? Normal women catch you cheating. Normal women tell you all your stuff is out on the front lawn. You can call my lawyer and we'll talk about a divorce down the line. Get out of my face. That's what a normal, classy, decent human being does. Okay? None of us are happy that we lose our loved one because they cheated on us or anything along those lines. But we don't resort to violence to send our message. That's not what human beings do. That's what normal people don't do that. Okay? That's when Nina admits she pulled out the gun and put it to Earl's head, stating that she took out the magazine thinking the gun could not fire. But cops say Nina was unaware the gun had a round in the chamber. Because, of course, those of us that have guns, you know what we do. We hit the button, we take out the clip, and then to make sure there's no bullet in the chamber, and usually if there's one, the bullet will spit out. And now you know, and what happens when there's no more bullets? It stays locked with the slide back, right? And then we can unlock it. And then we know there are no bullets in there. But those are us, that we use guns, okay? We're responsible. Anyway, cops say one of the women in the house shot cell phone video of the incident. Here's another thing I want to also warn people out there, just in case. Because this also tells you you're not normal and very smart either. You're obviously very stupid. When you're in the middle of committing a crime, don't film it. All right, let's continue. Which they say shows Nina pointing the gun at Earl's head from less than a foot away, and it can clearly be seen that Nina's finger was on the trigger and the safety is disengaged. Not that she's very smart and knew that. Fortunately for Earl, cops say the Ravens defensive back was able to wrestle the gun away from her. Cops say the cell phone video also shows Nina striking Earl in the nose before it ends. Cops also spoke with Earl, who essentially corroborated the story, adding that Nina repeatedly hit him while he attempted to take the firearm away. In an interview with Earl's alleged mistress at the scene, she claimed Nina also threatened her and the other woman in the house, pointing the gun at them, yelling, "I got something for all you hoes." The woman claims one of Nina's friends was carrying a knife and swinging it aggressively during the altercation as well. After speaking with everybody, cops ultimately arrested Nina and both members of her posse. Nina was booked for burglary of a residence with intent to commit aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, family violence, and later bonded out. Earl was not arrested. Court records show Nina was also hit with an emergency protective order requiring her to stay away 200 yards from Earl and his alleged mistress. So this gives Earl all the space he needs to keep banging his mistress. As we previously reported, Earl and Nina were married in an extravagant wedding back in 2016. Way back in the day in 2016. Russell Wilson and Ciara even attended the ceremony. Earl is one of the best defensive backs. Yeah, whatever. Okay. The lawyer for Nina says, I am here to declare that my client unequivocally and categorically denies these allegations, and we look forward to our day in court where we can clear her good name. Instead of talking about us, this is Earl, by the way. Instead of talking about us, keep us all in your prayers, Thomas says. Stuff like this happens. To who, moron? To who, Earl Thomas? To who, scumbag lowlifes? Because that's how scumbag lowlifes work. I'm just trying to fill you in, Earl. Okay? We try to live the best lives we possibly can. Sometimes it doesn't go as planned. What, you plan to drink all night, fight with your wife, go bang your mistress at 3 a.m, have your wife show up at 3 a.m. with a gun, a knife, a posse to threaten, and that happens all the time? No, it doesn't, dude. It doesn't happen when you're a decent man, and it doesn't happen when you marry decent women, okay? And it doesn't happen, Earl, if you actually acted the right way.
I love your acknowledgement. She's got muscle on speed dial.
I mean, give me a break, dude. Come on, bro. It's ridiculous. And this happens. This doesn't happen. This is not normal. Normal people don't act like this. Okay? Normal women don't act like this. Normal men don't act like this. That's all. Okay? A woman that is secure in who she is and her value, you know what she does? She gets the evidence and she walks away and gives it to her lawyer, and then you take the guy's money and kids and all that because they got 3 kids. That's the worst part. Those are your parents. The kids now have that as parents. How does that make any sense whatsoever?
And even if nothing of this comes of it, kids, if they're at the right age, man, they've read that at school. You know what I mean?
Their friends are going to. And kids are brutal, dude.
Ruthless, heartless.
Oh, man, heartless. But this thing, Earl Thomas thinks that this happens. No, it does not happen, dude. When you marry decent women, that doesn't happen. But, it would help if you maybe treated your wife a little better. And maybe that won't happen.
When you were talking about her throwing stuff out on the lawn and everything like that, one of my favorite commercials, the guy standing outside, the neighbors, and the girl backs up the truck with the door open. All the stuff flies out on the concrete, and he's like, "Oh, she's just dropping off my stuff."
That's it. That's it. Mike No Go Zone says Earl Thomas' mistake was getting married. You wait until you finish playing when the parade of women subsides. Then you get married. Derek Jeter was smart like that. Exactly. Derek Jeter banged half the world, but he wasn't married. So you can do that. But, dude, you're married, and you're out drinking all night, and you're banging chicks, and it's like you're married. You got 3 kids. Then don't get married. It's pretty simple. I've always said this. Not that it's right, okay? But, I mean, if you're at least going to do it, okay, have some you already are disrespecting your loved one. At least do it in a way where you don't embarrass the loved one. Where, like, Nina would have never found out. Now, you're drunk all night. You leave with your brother. You don't come back to your house. It's 3 a.m. What do you expect your wife to do? So now she tracked you down and she figured it out. You know what I mean? Again, not that it's right, but dude, just wait till you're on the road when you're in the NFL again, and starting all over. You can't wait that long. Do something where she would never find out or something, at least. Have that at least. But you do it so blatantly. It's because you're doing. When I see something like that, it's almost like this is not the first time. That's why there's a gun already at this point. Because I'm sure there's already been all kinds of arguments in the past. And they got married in 2016. So we're not talking about a couple that's been together for a long, long time or anything. You know what I mean? These people can't be that long together, and yet look at all these issues. Mike No Go Zones is right. He had no business getting married. But he probably had a kid with her and then had to get married. Who knows? I don't know how they went about having their kids. But some tells me if they're married in 2016, it's 2020, and they've got 3 kids, I think they started before they got married.
4 years of marriage, already got guns involved, man.
Yeah.
They need to get away from each other because eventually it's going to be used.
It should be
right?
a divorce.
It's going to be used, right?
Should be a divorce. Look, it's pretty. This is pretty simple in relationships. Okay, the second you raise your hand on your spouse is the day the divorce should end. Like right there, the divorce should be filed and it should be over, and you should never see each other. Either or, woman hitting man, man hitting woman, whatever. Once that starts, it's over.
Yeah, because it only escalates.
You're right.
It doesn't regress.
Doesn't get any better. Doesn't get any better. The day you have to hit your spouse is a spouse you don't have to be with. I mean, when Earl says, well, these things happen. No, dude, they don't happen, bro. I've been married for 26 years. They don't happen. Okay? I'm going to be in November with the same woman for 33 years. It doesn't happen. There's no chance. And if we would ever get divorced, I guarantee you, me and my wife would just file for a divorce, and that's it. It's over. There's not going to be any guns. There's not going to be any violence. It's not going to be any of that. We either, fell out of love, whatever it was, what normal people do when they break up or anything like that. That's how you're supposed to do it. Normal people don't get physical. Normal people don't use guns. Nothing about that situation is normal with Earl Thomas. Nothing. Good morning, Big O.
I'm going to make a bet right now. I'll bet everything I ever make, double it. You and your wife are never going to get divorced, okay? You still hold hands. You tell each other.
I get that. I get that, and I believe that too. But my point is that if we if we did whatever, we got bored with each other for a lot of love, whatever it is, we would just say, hey, it's over.
You remind me of my parents.
File the divorce, and that's it.
Who are married 53, 54, and they still hold hands and all, and do everything together. That's you guys.
We try, brother. We try.
Very impressive.
Sharif Kenshawn says, good morning, Big O. How will Tom Garfinkel imagine seating and social distancing for week 1? The seating is confirmed for fans. Well, he already has a plan. It was go to the paper. It was printed already a couple days ago. It's for like 15,000 people. Now it's not even official. It was just an idea. They're like setting up a plan just in case they can only put 20% in the stadium. So they've got kind of a plan in place for that. But right now the NFL hasn't even said they can allow one person in the stadium. Not even media members are going to be in the stadium. Media members could be covering the games from TV and Zoom for the interviews. Okay? I mean, that's how crazy it may end up getting. So I don't know. I don't know how they're going to handle it yet. The thing about all of this is it's just all talk. Like right now, the NBA is in the middle of, planning for mid-May for some facilities like the Heats to open up and practice and all of that. The MLS is already now starting the individual workouts now. But having said all that, they still have no idea when they're going to start, how they're going to start, It'll definitely be
Do
without
you put
fans.
a preseason in front? How long is the season? When are you going to end?
They don't know anything.
It's everything is so up in the air.
They don't know
You know
anything.
what? Mr. Garfinkel that we had on the other day, I would think that our Dolphins and the way he's already putting things together, we're probably further ahead as far as possibilities and options and stuff than the average NFL team easily.
Yep.
I mean, he's like, yeah, boom. As soon as whatever comes down, he's like going to have it. All right, this is what we set up for that scenario.
Yep. Michael Guerrero goes, just put your dirty laundry on Snapchat, kids. Exactly, Michael. Like you're with that hole, right? Well, just go somewhere like really quiet. Not with your brother or anybody. Don't put any videos up. Don't leave any crumbs, any trails. Okay, if you're just going to do it, do it, but like don't embarrass your wife. You know what I mean? At least that. But you're going to put it on Snapchat. You're going to fight with her. You're going to be away from your house at 3, 4 in the morning. Like normal women are going to worry about where their husband is. And in your case, Earl, most of us, we're away. Our wives think we're doing something stupid like sports related or whatever. In Earl's case, she knew he was up to no good. Like the other kind of no good. You and I, we get picked on by our wives for doing the silly things that guys do. Gambling trips and football and sports or concerts or hunting or whatever, fishing, whatever. The stupid things guys do, golf, the normal things that you and I do that we normally get in trouble for, like we get ripped for that kind of stuff. But the Earl Thomas kind of stuff, that's a whole different ballgame.
Don't be like Chad and leave a receipt for buying condoms.
Yeah. Jay Nice goes, Big O giving infidelity advice, shaking my head, LOL. I'm just saying, man, if you're going to be Earl Thomas, just do something, bro. I mean, you're already going to be a scumbag, right? Or just do a little something so you don't embarrass your wife and your kids.
So you're saying be a sneaky scumbag?
Yes. Yeah, dude. Yeah. At least.
Fly under the radar, totally incognito.
Yeah. I said this years ago, too. Remember the Atlanta Falcon, Eugene Robinson, Super Bowl week, he's here, and he goes to Biscayne Boulevard to pick up a prostitute, walking on the streets. And I was doing radio then, and I'll say it then, I'll say now what I said then. You're a football player. You're famous. You got all kinds of money. Dude, why not get a call girl? Like a high-priced call girl to come to your room. Nobody knows. She's a pro. And in those days, it wasn't even social media prevalent. So you weren't going to really get in trouble. But you're an NFL player, and you're going to go pick up something on the streets? Again, that to me did not make any sense. Like, it was kind of weird. Like, okay, Eugene, dude, use your common sense. You're a big famous football player. You got money. Man, use that as your leverage. Like, you can make things happen where you don't put yourself in a position that you're driving Biscayne Boulevard to go pick up streetwalkers, which, again, sting operations are left and right there. Not right either way, but I'm just saying there could have been a better option for you. At least you could have tried.
Be like Charlie Sheen, get with your attorney, have a contract already set up, no disclosure.
There you go.
And then jump in bed.
There you go. I'm just saying, man. At least if you're going to be like a total loser, then do something, bro. Think of the other person at least. It's crazy.
Be sneaky.
Yeah. Radically says, I think they will put a disclaimer on tickets and stadium entrances. Then they will sell the tickets and see who shows up. Dolphin attendance has been social distancing sad lately anyway. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you know that the Dolphins are, when it comes to sellout in stadiums, you know that they're one of the best teams in the NFL, right? Like when it comes to percentage of capacity, they're one of the best. I'm not sure what you're saying, Radically, but I think you need to go look at the stats, bro. Their attendance, believe it or not, through these years that have been some bad football, the people show up. The people buying the tickets. Okay, so they are in the high 90s in their capacity. So they have done a really good job overall. I mean, fans have done a great job considering it hasn't been a good product for many years. Ray Grulong, thank you, sir, Ray, for chiming in on the super chat. I appreciate you, Ray. Thank you for helping us out as always and making it easier for us to grow here on the program with a little super chat. Thank you, sir. Careful, guys. Alexis is in the house listening. There you go. Or better yet, wait until after the biggest game of your career to buy some booty. LOL. That too, George. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. You can wait till after the game. You know, I do something, bro. I'm just saying some of these guys, they do things that are just plain stupid. And I, you know, like the Earl Thomas thing. It's almost like you're Nico Toscani and you're above the law. That's kind of the way I feel because it seems to me like Earl Thomas has been getting away with this forever, and she kind of had enough of it. Because she's acting like the woman that has dealt with several of these kind of situations, and it finally, you know, got to a boiling point, and she whipped out a gun. And the best part about Earl is I think Earl's blaming the rest of us for his stupidity.
Earl.
Like, leave us alone. It's our privacy. Well, it's not too private, dude. Somebody filmed it, and they put it out there. So that tells you all you need to know, dude. Okay? Somebody filmed it. Somebody's filming everything that's going on. That's your fault, dumbass. You're the one that wanted to argue with your wife about your drinking. Then you leave out all night, and she can track your Snapchat account. So then she sees you with another woman and then goes and catches you with the other woman. You know,
he did everything he could to get caught.
Yes, exactly. And he has nobody to blame but himself. And if we're talking about it, that's your problem, Earl Thomas. Okay? Maybe if you were more discreet, since, okay, you can't be faithful, you really don't want to be with your wife and 3 kids, even in a quarantine situation that you're not supposed to be doing these kind of things, by the way, but you want to do all that, don't blame us, dude. Okay? Don't blame us for your stupidity, Earl Thomas. And right now, we could be talking about Earl Thomas's funeral. Okay? Wife in jail for the rest of her life. 3 kids have no wife, no mother, and no father. We could have ended up with that situation. I'm just saying, man. Earl, be a lot smarter, my brother. And don't even point fingers. Don't look at anybody. It's not on your wife. It's not on any of us. It's not on society. It's not on the person that filmed the incident and posted it. It's all on you, man. There's nobody to blame but Earl Thomas. Big O Earl was caught sharing a girl with his brother in bed. I doubt he was thinking about his wife's feelings. Ha ha. Well, apparently there were 2 girls there. Okay? All right. So there you go. Let's see. Flipper's asking Alexa V, what you cooking up for lunch today? And Alexa V says, not sure yet. Now, remember, Alexa, you're supposed to bring us some food, okay? We're here starving, working hard, trying to entertain you all out there.
Are you telling us you didn't go buy Chick-fil-A, man?
Oh, I went by Chick-fil-A.
Hey, were you able to get off on?
I just want to have fun with Alexa because she's thinking of cooking. So, I figured,
Hey, man, we're hungry, yeah.
John Rouse brings us brownies.
He brought us Vicky's.
That's right. He brought us Vicky's.
Pastelitos.
A little pastelitos, yes.
Were you able to get off on 41st?
That was strong on John's part.
Oh, John's. You know what?
Oh, yeah, today, yeah, on and off.
You were able to get off.
On and off.
Okay, all right.
Because last time I got off, but I couldn't get on.
I wasn't able to get on. I had to do the back row.
Unlike Earl Thomas, Earl Thomas gets off and gets on. Many people. 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Sharif says, I listened to Big O from the first team, Goldie, Joe Rose, Mad Dog, Howard, David, Neil Rogers. Good to know we all connected. Thank you, Sharif. I appreciate you listening. That means I've been around for a while. That means I'm really old. That's all that means. Big O, do you think Earl will be punished by the NFL? That's a great question. I don't think you can punish him because he wasn't the one using the gun. He wasn't assaulting anybody. He was only cheating on his wife. And that's only a law in his house. Well, apparently it's not really a law in his house. It's not something that's important in his house. But like in most of our houses, it's important. In his house, it's not that important. So I don't know. The NFL will do nothing at all.
They don't have infidelity as one of their reasons for getting suspended.
No, if you did that, then half the league wouldn't be playing every week. I'm going to bring a bag of brownies to Vegas. Instead, I put them in the freezer. You couldn't handle my brownies, oh. Hey, but we'll try them. We could do that in that state. So bring on the brownies, baby. Let's have some fun.
Man, go ahead.
Although we kept asking John, are these special brownies? Huh, John? Are you bringing us special brownies?
Go become.
No, they're normal brownies.
Wherever you're sitting, that's
normal
what you
and delicious,
become
by the way.
part of.
They were really good, John.
Oh, yeah, John's
Rich
were
as hell.
awesome. Yes. But yeah, you do that, man. You become part of whatever piece of furniture you're sitting on. You're there for many, many hours. Yeah,
and those brownies had some moisture to them where I've seen the people that cook or bake the brownies that are, you know, you get the rich flavor, but then there's this dryness to them that I don't like. You had the combination of the moist and the rich flavor. That I mean, you can't beat that. All right, it's noon already. We got 1 hour down. We got 2 more to go. We're coming to you live from Toyota of Hollywood. Come on out here. We got some beautiful vehicles out here. We got over 1,500 cars and trucks. And, of course, right now, they will also give you 90 days, no payments. So if you want to buy or lease a vehicle, you can do it online. You can call them, and you can order it, and they can take it to you. That's actually becoming really popular now. A lot of the guys were telling me a couple weeks ago that a lot of their cars are being sold that way, and people are loving the fact that they can be home, pick the car they want and the style and the model and all that, and then they take it to their homes, and they are as happy as it can be because they did all the shopping without pretty much any of the hassle. And so you can do that too. So check it out here at Toyota of Hollywood. If you want to make it convenient, that's what they're here to do, is make it nice and convenient for you. Come see my guy, Herbie Lopez. I see him right there. He's ready to take care of you. Gary Thompson's walking around. Rick, all the great people. Eddie is also out here. And, of course, Steve Ostrov, who is always cracking the whip. Let's take a break. Back with more right here on The Big O Show.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million, whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right.
This is the Big O Show.
Alexa asked me on the chat board here during the break, did I get the hot dog? But my problem was I was running late because I had a 4:15 meeting at Inter Miami Stadium, which, by the way, that's what it's called, Inter Miami Stadium, Inter Miami CF Stadium. And so we're planning on stuff that we're doing with the station and stuff like that. And so if you're a soccer fan, you're going to love what Inter Miami is going to do. And, I'm blessed to be a part of it and to put it and help put it together. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's going to be another venture that we're going to be a part of. That's going to be really, really cool. But anyway, so I was running late and I really wanted a hot dog. So, you know what? I gotta call my guy at Sweet Dogs and find out if they're open today, because after talking so much about Sweet Dogs, I think I may want that instead. And let me see. There you go. I'm gonna find out if they're open today.
I tried to buy you an extra 15 minutes when because I remember saying you've done an hour and 15. And then you continued for another 15 minutes.
We had all that. The problem was that yesterday we had all that other dead time and stuff. And
Makeup.
So, yeah, you know what I mean?
Well, you did, man. An hour and a half straight, man. I think that's a new record, honestly.
Shocked I was able to last that long, I guess. I sent Vic, my man Vic, a text to see if he is open today. And see how long, because I haven't been to Sweet Dogs in a while now. It's actually been, and I haven't been during this COVID pandemic. But on the way home, it's a little bit out of my way. But man, that Sweet Dog is so good that it would be worth it actually to make the drive. So when I am done here, if anybody, let me see if Vic answers me. If anybody wants to meet me at Sweet Dogs and then you can meet me at Sweet Dogs. I'll be there right after the show, if it's open. You know what I mean? So, Alexa V! Yes! In the super chat. Thank you, Alexa. As always, I appreciate you, Alexa, chiming in. She goes, excited. Are you excited for this season? I am very excited. Which season are we talking about? Because, Alexa, I'm super excited about Inter Miami season. I hope we get it back going again, because I think we're going to get a couple of those international players that are going to help lift them to another level. I'm super excited about the Dolphin season, actually. I'm looking forward to seeing the improvements. I'm actually excited about the Marlins season. I wanted to see the young guys now start to grow, because I want to see if maybe they keep these guys down the line. So I was excited about that. Kane's season, I was excited about that because I want to see De'Aaron King. I want to see Lashley and the new offense. I loved what, as we all, a lot of us wanted Manny, but we all have to admit he was a disaster last year. I'm the first guy to tell you Manny was a disaster. But I will give you this. I think Manny addressed all the problems that he had in the offseason.
Almost a perfect offseason,
I know,
right?
yeah.
Almost.
I think it was a great offseason on his part. So I'm excited to see what they
where
look
he
like.
was headed, man, a complete 180, like amazing. Because we were losing faith.
Yeah. So, Alexa, the only thing that I'm no longer excited about was the Florida Panthers because I kind of already know what they are already. It just, that's the only thing that I already know what you are, so I'm not excited about it. There's nothing to build on. There's no championship. There's no deep playoff run. There's probably no playoffs. So there you go. That's what I'm excited about. Rick says, ready for some Inter Miami football? Oh, yeah. Flipper says, I would go, but I'm 3,000 miles away. Well, Flipper, we will come to you, right? So that means you're closer to Las Vegas. Well, hopefully we'll see you in Vegas for the game. Okay? All right. Let's see. What else do we have? Yes, the Dolphin season is what Alexa was saying. Oh, I'm so pumped about it. I've been pumped about the Dolphin season since last year. I was like one of the few people that was pumped about last season.
You in your twisted way being excited about
and I was
saying
right.
0 wins. And I'm like, why are you smiling?
But I was right that you should be excited about it because it was fun to watch them develop.
The only mistake your call was saying
wins.
0 wins. Yeah, we had 5.
Didn't think they win crap, man. McIntyre says, Fitz will not excite anyone. Sorry, not when it really counts for sure. Mark, you're not looking at it the right way, my brother. You're looking at it a short-sighted approach of just Fitz. What does Fitz have to do with the improvement of Wilkins, the improvement of anybody on this team? What does that have to do with anything? In fact, Fitz helped you see the improvement and the elevation of Mike Gesicki. Fitz helped you watch Devontae Parker establish himself finally, and maybe now you've got a weapon for the future. So Fitz actually helped people like Isaiah Ford develop after a couple of years of roster, practice squad, roster, practice squad, roster, practice squad, and finally got an opportunity and he shined. You know what I mean? So Fitz allowed you, yes, Fitz is not your permanent fixture at quarterback. Yes, he's not your franchise guy. Yes, he's not the future. I get all of that. But if you're just looking at it that way, my man, you're short-sighted as hell because it's more about everything else that's going on. Okay? And find out who improved on the roster, period. And people improved with Fitz. That's what matters, my man. So Jason Stowbridge, I'm excited to see him play. Okay? There's a bunch of guys that I want to see play on the Miami Dolphins team, and it has nothing to do with Fitz. You're just thinking, you've got the blinders on, and you're just thinking that it means nothing unless you have Tua on the field. Well, at the moment, you need to have Fitz on the field because you need to first work that line out. So I'm excited about watching Austin Jackson play and see if he can establish himself as a right tackle. I'm excited to see Robert Hunt at left tackle for Austin, at right tackle for Hunt, or possibly right guard. I'm excited to see where Michael Dieter is. He had a whole year, ups and downs. Now he had an off season. Now let's see what happens. With a second year now, does he get closer to being, a starting lineman for you every single week? You and I are different, my brother. I look at the big picture, and I want to find out how they're going to use Malcolm Perry in how many different positions. I want to see Curtis Weaver. Okay, this is a kid that had, some scouts having him go a lot earlier in this draft because they thought he could be a werewolf and get after quarterbacks. So what if he can? I'm excited about that. I disagree with you, my brother. There's a lot of things to be excited about, and looking at just Fitzpatrick is so short-sighted, it's not even funny. You're not looking at the big picture. I'm excited about Brian Flores, how he handled everything last year, how he handled all the adversity, how he handled all the stupid reports out there that everybody quit on him and everybody wanted to get traded off this team and everybody was tanking and all of that. And the guy handled it like a effing champ, dude. So I couldn't disagree with you more. There's a ton of things to be excited about. Now you've got Howard and Breida back there. And I like Patrick Laird as a receiving back. Okay? Does this light a fire in a Balaj? I know we've all lost love for Balaj. His rookie year, he showed us something. We're like, whoa, they might have found something late in the draft. Last year was a complete disaster. Maybe the kid, light goes on, figures it out. I don't know. But I am excited to see Breida and Howard as a 1-2 punch. Because now I feel like Fitzpatrick has two guys he can count on. So spin it however you want, my man, and look at it how negative you want. But I think there's a ton of positives to look at for the Miami Dolphins. That's just me. Let's see. I was pumped from day one too, Big O. We saw the plan being put in motion, the big picture. So far, it's going totally as planned. George Arthur says, aloha, Big O. Afternoon, everybody. Afternoon, George. Thank you, sir, for chiming in. Solomon Kinley is going to start if he's in shape. Watch his 2018 SEC championship game versus Bama. He was tremendous. Hey, man, I hope Jackson, Hunt, and Kinley start. That would be fantastic. I hope Hunt starts at right guard. I hope Kinley and Dieter are your guards, and I hope Jackson is your left tackle. Think about this. Let's have a little fun with this. What happens if by the end of this year, Austin Jackson's your left tackle, Robert Hunt's your right tackle, Kinley and Dieter are your guards, and maybe you use the New England guy for 1 year and you're developing another. But by year 2, could you have possibly drafted 4 of your 5 guys? That would be pretty cool. Now, I mean, it's a long shot, let's be honest, because you're going to fail. Remember, all 11 picks aren't going to hit. Okay? If they have a really good draft, about 5 or 6 of them are going to fail. The other 5 or 6 are going to be hits. It's kind of what it is. That's what makes you a great front office. If you can get to half, oh my God, you're awesome. You're fantastic. Okay? So that's really what's going to happen. But can you just imagine if you actually hit on, because look, you got, one guy's got confidence in Kinley, another's got confidence in Hunt, some people got confidence in Jackson. Can you imagine if you hit on all 3 and Dieter in his second year kind of figures things out? We're all going to look around and go, damn, all these offensive line issues for so many years, and these guys drafted 4 of their 5 guys in 2 years? Wow. We would be freaking out.
It's going to put a glaring spotlight on the lack of competence the last 20 years if they do it in 2 years.
Right,
okay?
right.
I mean, yeah.
It would be absolutely amazing. But again, they're not going to hit on all the picks. I would love it, folks. I would love for all 11 picks to come through. I would love for some of the undrafted guys to also come through, because it's one of those things now that we're now looking at those undrafted guys because of Preston Williams, because of Nick Needham. We now see that they can find talent elsewhere. Doesn't have to be straight up a trade and straight up a free agent pickup or straight up draft. Could be in other areas that you pick your guys. You know what I'm saying?
Can I compound the happy thought?
Yes, sir.
What happens if the guys that we drafted along with the guys from free agency solve the defensive line also?
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine if we get like somewhere around week 8, 9 this year and man, we've got our offense and defensive line solved.
Would be really nice, man. Would be incredible.
Fast track to success.
Yep. Troy Lewis says, Big O, based on last year and the improvement of this team, what's not to be excited about? This team has no place to go but up. I agree. But not only is it up, okay, Troy, it's up, but there's a plan in place. That to me is the really cool part about all of this, that you see the plan taking place. Whereas you and I constantly looked at what the hell the Dolphins were doing and going, what are they doing? What are they doing? Like, you would look at your friend, your family member, your father, or whatever, and it's like, do you understand this? Right? I mean, for 20 years we've been doing this. Now, you don't look at each other and go, hey, do you understand what the Dolphins are doing? No, not at all. No, you understood last year. They cleaned out the roster. They loaded up on draft picks. It was pretty obvious. They didn't have a lot of draft picks last year. They didn't have a second or fourth rounder. They did what they could, and they filled some needs. And, those players are still developing. And then this year, they knew that the draft wasn't loaded with pass rushers. So they went and got a few in free agency. It was a heavy defensive free agency, which then we all looked at each other, and we all said, okay, looks like they're going to do a lot of offense, right? And sure enough, a lot of offense, and still added some defense. And it also becomes very clear that you're watching them build up both lines, offensive and defensive lines. There's no real smoke screens or anything like that. There's a lot of common sense to it. When was the last time you can say that? Right? Because from one year to another, the general manager changes, or the coach changes, or the QB changes, or the coordinators change, or the plan changes, and it just, you never knew what they were doing. Wait a minute, you're adding Sue? What? Why? You're not a Sue away from a Super Bowl. These are things that they used to go on, and you're like, what are you doing? You don't say that anymore. It's pretty obvious what they're doing. Oh, will you be attending any Dolphins games this year? I don't know, Josh. If I can, yes.
Road games.
If we can, yes. I don't know. I don't know, my man. I would love to. Let's put it that way. Okay?
If it's an option, we're in on the road, but the home games probably be on location doing a pre and a post, right?
Maybe.
Is that not our plan?
Or maybe. Again, I don't know. I don't know what we can do. I don't know what we're allowed to do. I know this. If we can go to the games and cover some of the games, we definitely will. We won't have a problem with that. And then we'll try to also do our own post-game show, pre-game show, some along those lines, or both. You name it. So we've got, I've got options, but I've got to get to the point where I know what we can do. But we definitely would love to go to games. I think Flowers will be guard and Dieter will be the center. Done. Maybe. Out of many, one says tanking for Tua is the best seller in the NFL this season. Don't forget Flowers. He is getting $10 million a year. He will be the other guard. Hopefully, that's right. That's right. Eric Flowers will be a guard. You're right about that. So Flowers and whoever, Kinley or Dieter or something like that, or like Radically said, maybe you get Dieter at center. You never know. Who knows? Since Shula, this is our best front office. Thanks, Big O, for another kick-ass show. You're killing it, brother. Thank you very much, sir. Plaxim Mola says, Big O, huge fan. Thank you for all your positivity on the Dolphins. I'm not being positive. I'm just being honest. Okay? I just want to make sure, because whenever I do rip anything, I'm just being honest. I'm not being negative or I'm not being positive. I just see positive in what the Dolphins are doing. Okay? So I have to call it like I see it. I thought we would have seen more XFL players sign this year. Micah, several have signed, man. Several have signed. Look it up. It's been quite a few, actually. Hell, Pittsburgh alone signed like 5. Let's see. Manny is the 4th straight coach who ends with a losing record. Last 15 years, the talent pool of Florida does not trust UM program. Also, we were better off keeping Larry Coker. He won. Larry was not better because Larry got worse. That's Sharif, that's not a good statement. Let me explain why. When you watch what Dennis Erickson took over a loaded team from Jimmy Johnson. Okay? Jimmy had won the title. And Dennis went on to win 2 titles in the first 3 years with Jimmy's players. But once that 4th year rolled around, that pretty much it was all his players. And so on and so forth. You saw the bowl performances. They became more and more embarrassing. Because Dennis's players took over. his culture took over. And Dennis Erickson is an exceptional X's and O's coach. Dennis Erickson is not a custodian of a program. He is not a guy that's going to maintain a certain level of discipline. And number two, he is not the recruiter that Jimmy Johnson is. That's why he has never won another national title or even competed for another national title in any other school he went to, because he can't maintain it. Larry Coker inherited a loaded team from Butch Davis. And Larry almost won 2 titles with Butch Davis's players. Got screwed on that second one. But notice, after Butch's players were gone and Larry's players took over, the program went downhill. The bowl games became more embarrassing. That second time, the LSU 40-9 or 40-6 or whatever the hell it was. I mean, stuff like that.
We've never recovered ever since that game, man.
Right.
We've never been the same.
But because you've never gotten the coach, custodian, and recruiter. You need 3 magical things to be a great coach in college football. You got to coach and develop, you got to recruit, and you got to be a custodian of the program and maintain it. The discipline, the culture, all of that. And if you don't have those 3, Randy Shannon, Larry Coker, all these kind of guys, even Dennis Erickson, and these are 2 guys that won titles. But they won titles because you gave them teams.
And they didn't feed back to the program.
Yeah, they were ready, but you couldn't maintain. So don't ever say that Larry Coker or Dennis Erickson, just because they won. Remember what we just talked about with Clyde Drexler and Michael Jordan a couple days ago? I told you look at the stats, and a lot of them were even. And then you watch The Last Dance, and Jordan, like, that dude's not in my level. And he tells Magic in dinner the night before, I'm going to give it to this dude. That's because any of us that watched the NBA and young writers now and young fans, they might go back and look at the stats and say, well, Drexler was just as good as Jordan. Look at the stats. No, dude. Stats don't tell you everything. Stats don't tell you everything about Coker and Dennis Erickson. Yeah, they won titles. That doesn't make them the kind of championship coaches that you think they might be. Okay? They can't do what Coach O just did at LSU. Because Coach O didn't inherit a championship team, but he went and made one. They can't do that. They can't do what Dabo Swinney does in Clemson. They can't do, nobody can do what Nick Saban's done. But my point is, those kind of coaches that can recruit at a high level and coach at a high level and maintain that high level, those guys are special. Coker and Dennis Erickson were never those guys. Okay? Coker and Dennis Erickson is Brad Johnson, is Trent Dilfer. Okay? They landed on a good team that carried them to a title. And all they needed was, hey, dude, make a couple of plays for us. We know you're not special. Ryan Tannehill last year, dude, we know you're not special. Just make a couple of throws for us. That guy, Derrick Henry, he's special. Offensive line, special. Defense, special. U17, not special. Just make a couple plays, dude. We'll be fine. Don't get in our way. That's what it is. Okay? So Coker and Barry Switzer, Coker, Dennis Erickson, they didn't get in the way enough that they were able to win. But then once their players took over, they had no shot. Okay? That's what really went on. So never, ever tell me that Dennis Erickson and Larry Coker are championship caliber coaches. Those guys fell in the right situations. George Arthur, chiming in on the super chat. Thank you, sir. Oh, do you and Bill have any bold predictions for the Dolphins this year? I think we will sweep our division. It's you got to give me some time. I got to know who's healthy, who's not, and then I'll go with some crazy prediction, and I'll give you something. Okay?
right now out the blocks because of you being 0 and us getting 5 wins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping to compete for a playoff spot. Just compete, be in the mix, 10 wins, 9 wins.
I would tell you you're freaking crazy, but I can't.
I
would love to tell any of you.
You know
out
what
there.
it's about, man?
Normally, in a second year of a rebuild, I would normally tell you, playoffs, get the hell out of here. What's wrong with you people?
Flores, man, what he did.
But I thought it was 0 and they went 5 wins. So, and there's no Brady in this division. And I'm the guy that thinks that the wheels are going to fall off Belichick now. That's just me. But, George, I will have a crazy prediction. You know what? Let me give you a super chat crazy prediction for the Miami Dolphins. Why don't we do that, at least? Let me do that, okay? My crazy prediction is that Devontae Parker will have over 1,200 yards and over 10 touchdowns this season. He will stay healthy, and he will dominate. Okay? There you go. That's my crazy prediction. Over 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns.
Throw a scenario at you, man, because I've always thought about this. The last year of Butch, obviously we got robbed because of the 2 idiots with that BCS thing, and Sagarin and Billingsley, the way they voted us, okay? And the Florida State jumped us. If we do, and we should have been, in that game against Oklahoma, and we win a national championship, you think Butch stays, man?
Well, no,
right?
Because it's NFL money. They don't pay it.
You went right at the time.
Especially at that time, they were paying nothing.
And he's got a ring. Yeah. It's time to move on. It wouldn't have mattered.
It's Leonard Hamilton. Here's Michael Jordan and the Wizards offering you can't turn it down.
$2 million a year.
Can't turn it down.
When you're making, what was he making? 500, 650,000, something like that.
No, you can't. They don't pay a lot in UM basketball, even less.
You know what pisses me off about that? The fact that Leonard was only there 1 year. He didn't even do 2.
Well,
it goes up to Florida State, and imagine where I love Larinaga.
Such an
Don't
awesome
get me wrong,
job.
but imagine if we would have continued the momentum that Leonard started and never had the blips with Perry and all that.
Yeah, some of you are too young.
And I love Larinaga, but
some of you are too young. But we were packing the Miami arena.
We won
games.
the Big East. We were number 8 in the country. One final poll. We had won the Big East.
There were UM games at the Miami Arena with like 11 or 12,000 people.
Here,
which was like
one of the games.
That was crazy, dude. That was so much fun.
When they passed out the Ibis National Championship Coke cans.
Yeah.
I was at that game against Connecticut, and that's UConn, right?
Yeah.
And I can remember we're all, you wish
those were
you
fun
were.
Days.
And of course, we weren't what we were in basketball yet. We hadn't had that Leonard Hamilton wonderfulness. But all the Connecticut fans are looking at us, right? And like, they're beating us by 10 or 15 at halftime, but because of the national championship football team, Bernard Clark and all. I mean, those Connecticut fans were like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah, big time. Pat in Asheville says, don't be surprised if they lose more games this year. Patience, people. They have a very difficult schedule. Pat, I don't play the schedule game because did you predict that they would win 5 games? Because they tore it all the way down with no talent. How did you expect them to win 5 games with no talent? That's why you can't play the schedule game. Did you have them, Pat, beating New England in Week 17? I doubt that, right? Never play the schedule game is the worst thing you can play because you don't know who's going to be good and who's going to be bad and when they're going to be good and when they're going to be bad. None of us know. So playing the schedule game is impossible because your statement there, Pat, I can spin it completely on you because you never expected them to win 5. So I think they're a well-coached team. I think they're a disciplined team. They had no talent last year. Now they've got talent. I'm not telling you they're the most talented team in the NFL or anything, but they got a lot more talent than they did last year. And now the guys that were there last year have a year of experience. I like them to win more games. In fact, if you play, okay, let's play this game. The Miami Dolphins are listed at an over and under 6. if we're playing the 16 games, I'm going over. Guaranteed. Now, I don't know exactly the ins and outs, but once they start canceling games, then it becomes that much more difficult. And I don't even know if these bets that you make in Vegas are going to be any good after that. I doubt it, because I would imagine that you bet the over on 6 games. It's on a 16-game schedule. So maybe those tickets get voided once games start to get eliminated, because obviously it's not fair.
I was just going to say, you're going to have to jump in early on that, but the risk, look, let's throw out a really ugly scenario. What happens if we get back to playing and somehow there's a spread of corona through the league and we have to cease operation?
I would imagine those
what happens?
I would imagine those tickets become void. All right? So that's the thing. But I disagree with you, Pat. I think I don't think this is that kind of franchise anymore, man. I think this is a franchise that goes like this. Okay? I don't think there's this. I'm sorry. Then we might have some players that are like that, but when you're like this, that's when you're on the bench with this guy. And that's what I love, too.
With the quickness, no waiting.
Bro. He doesn't waste time, bro. What's good, Big O, from Tyrone Sanders? I haven't been on in a few days. Your boy is back. I'm guessing the bandwagon fans are about to pile on now, Big O, realizing, the coaching staff, cream of the crop, Fins for life. Well, Tyrone, I'm one of those guys that I don't believe in bandwagons. You're either a fan or you're not a fan. Bandwagons are when you get on for winning. Like all of a sudden now, there are going to be a lot more Kansas City Chiefs fans. That's a bandwagon. When you've won and then they're getting on. But I think even people that were pissed with the Dolphins, they were on the bandwagon. They're fans. It's just they're pissed that the Dolphins weren't doing well. I think you can love your team, support your team, but you can also be critical of your team. You have to be. I'm not off the Panthers bandwagon. I love the Panthers. I think they got great ownership. I like Coach Q. I just don't believe in Dale Talon anymore.
You don't like where the wagon's being led.
Yeah, I just don't like Dale Talon anymore. I just don't, after 10 years, I cannot believe in Dale Talon anymore. You know what I mean? Let's see. Mike Dominguez, if Tua stays healthy, who has a better career, Stidham with Belichick or Tua with Flores? If Tua's healthy, Tua by miles, bro. Tua should be a hell of a quarterback. And I like Jarrett Stidham. That was one of those project guys I wouldn't mind the Dolphins have taken a chance on last year. Gesicki will have 11 touchdowns. That's what the Miami Miracle is saying. I love it. 900 yards and 11 touchdowns. That would be a hell of a year for Gesicki, my brother. That would be fantastic.
We went a little bit past here, but we're not where we can't get back on track and make it a decent segment. So put the brakes.
That's it.
Sorry, man.
Alexa saying facts. Thank you, Alexa. Appreciate you as always. All right, appreciate all of you out there. Remember to give us the thumbs up while you're watching. We got, 264 now watching. Give us the thumbs up, the share button, send it to a friend, subscribe, all that good stuff. We love you all out there for supporting us. I got some music news. I got a bunch of sports stuff that I definitely want to get into on the other side. We got NFL facilities opening up. We got a football player that's involved in some dirty stuff that I want to talk about. We got another football player that tells me he wants to do something, but his cojones tell me his BBs haven't dropped. We'll do that next.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
We good? We back. Don't forget, VSS West Pines, proud sponsor of our program. Call them 954-613-3367. Go to 12397 Pembroke Road and get all your CBD needs there at VSS West Pines. Go to the website, vsswestpines.com. We're out here at Toyota of Hollywood, 1841 North State Road 7. And when you do come on out here, tell them that Big O sent you. And I promise you, they will definitely take care of you here at Toyota of Hollywood. All right, we got a couple things that I definitely want to talk about here on the program. Did you guys see the whole thing with Favre? And we talked about it where Favre took $1.1 million from Mississippi. And so it's from the Department of Human Services. So apparently the quarterback is going to repay the $1.1 million in welfare money that he received from multiple speeches he did not show up to deliver, according to the Mississippi State Auditor on Wednesday. Auditor Shad White said his office received $500,000 from Favre on Wednesday, plus a commitment that Favre will repay the other $600,000 in installments over the next few months, which means he doesn't have the money. So he's got to earn it somewhere else in order to pay this, right?
I see more Copperfit commercials.
Yeah, it's just my problem with all of this with Favre is he took the money, bro. And I know that he wants to, they want to like kind of phrase it that his lawyer and his company took the money and they didn't realize. But let me ask you something. So $1.1 million for speeches he didn't do? And why are you paying him that kind of money to address anything? What's he an expert on? Throwing the football and penis pics. I'm just wondering, why do I want Brett Favre talking for anything? What is he? I get if I bring Magic Johnson, the guy's opened up like 800 businesses. Like he's like a legit businessman.
Socially, the AIDS situation, man, and what he did to
that's
change
something.
that.
That's okay. There is something else there.
Yes, man.
That's fine. Bring me Dr. Dre. Dude had beats, made the beats. Made that like the hottest thing out there. Everybody buys beats. That's a businessman. Not only is he a rap guy, a rap mogul, rap genius, rap god, all of that, okay? But then on the business side, he's done something like What has Brett Favre done? What? What, because he lives in Mississippi? And you're paying him $1.1 million for what? So I want to know who's in charge of the Department of Human Services, because whoever approved that should be fired. And Brett Favre, you're taking this money, and listen to the crap. I want to applaud Mr. Favre for his good faith effort to make this right and make the taxpayers and TAMP families whole, White said in a statement Wednesday. To date, we have seen no records indicating Mr. Favre knew that TAMP was a program that served as the source of the money he was paid. Dude, you're still taking it from the state. I don't care where it comes from. And your state isn't a rich state or anything like that.
You didn't render services and you take money for it.
Right.
You know you didn't do the job.
Right.
You know who I have to ask? Who's he doing speeches to, Oh?
I don't know. I don't want him doing any speeches. What kind of speech? What's he going to do? What's he going to talk about? Like Bill said, copper fit? Huh? Is he bringing Jerry Rice over so they can talk about copper fit and how they beat like a bunch of slugs 45-2 in a pickup game? Seriously. What's he driving out of Slidell to go talk to somebody there? Come on. The audit released Monday said the center paid Favre Enterprises $500,000 in December of 17, $600,000 in June of 18. He was supposed to make speeches at least at 3 events. Oh, and it says upon a cursory review of those dates, auditors were able to determine that the individual contracted did not speak, nor was he present for those events. So, and he's only returning this because he got busted. It's just...
Bro, that money's the kind of money that ex-presidents get paid for doing the talk show circuit.
This is
okay?
just, to me, it's a bunch of garbage, bro. It's a bunch of BS. And clearly it's money that he needed because he can't even repay it.
Oh, it's already spent, right?
Yeah, like Magic Johnson could write that check laughing. Oh, 1.1. No, here's...
You want it right now? Here, you take that Starbucks.
Here's 1.4.
You could have one of my Starbucks.
Right.
Here.
The problem is that Magic won't take that money. That's the difference between the two guys. Magic's a decent dude. He's going to go, no, man, you're the state of Mississippi. You guys are poor. I'll do it out of, I'll do it out of the goodness of my heart. So you get paid $1.1 million to do nothing. That's basically stealing money. Oh, and by the way, why isn't he paying it back with interest? At least at $1.1 million, why aren't you paying back interest?
He got an interest
Please explain that to me. Right? I mean, give me a break, bro. Come on. That guy should not be addressing anything. Okay? 3 speeches, $1.1 million. He should be paying back the $1.1 million with interest, and then on top of all of that, make a donation and promise to speak for the next 5 years for free. To me, I find that story bothersome on every level because all I'm reading is bull crap. Bull crap from the lawyers, bull crap from Favre, bull crap from the state of Mississippi. It's just they got exposed. That's all.
Who cuts the check before this guy does a speech?
Like I said, that person needs to get fired. Anybody that hired Favre needs to get fired.
There's some dirty foo stuff going on here.
Yep. Oh, he's giving advice to those that want to retire, unretire, then retire. That's a good one, George. Matthew Walker says, hey, Favre is also an expert on Wrangler jeans. Let's not be so harsh. You're right about that. A little copper fit, a little Wrangler. Yes, sir. He is discussing the benefits of Vienna sausages. Let's see. What else do we have? Miami Miracle, Brady versus Breeze, week 1. Okay. Have you seen the Alex Smith documentary? Dude had his leg go through a meat grinder. Do you think he will ever play football again? I hope he doesn't. Okay? Let me just put it that way. All right? I hope he doesn't. That's the way I look at it. Because that was so gruesome to see what he went through. So, oh, by the way, Sweet Dogs is open. Victor told me, yes, we are. Okay? So I'm gonna tell him I'll be there by,
Are you flying out of here?
Yeah, I'm flying.
Like, I'm not going to have enough time to maybe join you?
Oh, there's no way you'll be able to join me, bro, because you got to tear down and all that.
Thanks.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way. Oh, because
I tried.
You're
man.
way after me.
You did all this.
You don't really want to go there. You
planted a seed, man.
I know, but I know you with your little traffic stuff and all. Oh no, then I got to go there and then I got to go back home.
There isn't any traffic. You know what? You know what I've been doing when I leave the house? I go 8:36. Imagine 8:36 at 3-4 in the afternoon to go Lejeune down to the house.
Well,
imagine
we'll be done here at 2. I'll be there by no later than 2:40. Okay, so if you wanna meet me at Sweet Dogs, because I gotta have a dog. I'm gonna go have a dog. I gotta have that chili dog that he has. That is their chili there is off the chain. And I wanted a dog yesterday, but I had to go to a meeting. Today I got nothing after the show, so I can calmly drive over to Sweet Dogs, have my dog, and then calmly drive home, go west, and have no problem. Plus, the traffic's not really bad right now. We're not there yet where the traffic is terrible. So, if you happen to be anywhere in the area around 2:40, 3 o'clock, I'll be there at Sweet Dogs on 8th Street, and it's about 55th or something like that, 53rd or something like that.
It's east of Red Road?
Yes, it's
okay, so it's not between 57 and 62nd like we thought. It's further east of 57.
Is it? Now I'm getting confused. No, I think it's right before 57. It's right before Granada. Okay?
Sweet Dogs, right?
Yeah, Sweet Dogs. Sweet Dogs, Miami. Tell me. Or I could look.
I'm on a pace that I can maybe meet you 20 or 30 minutes after you leave.
Okay.
I'll just gonna have to drive slow. Let me catch up.
Let me see here. Let me see. Let me go to his Twitter page. Sweet Dogs. I don't know where it's at. Now I'm not finding no Sweet Dogs here. I know he's got a Twitter page or something like that. But anyway, so yeah, it's like 50-something. What is it? It's after 47th is what the Red Angry Cuban says. So, 47th is where the Jamaica Hotel is or motel or whatever. And then, yeah, you're right, actually. You're right, because Granada, right, 57th, and then Granada must be 52nd. The Jamaica's 47th. He's right. It's like 49th or 50th or something like that. Yes. He's right about that. It's right there. Yep. One guy's... You guys are terrible, man. Favre is teaching the art of the pecker pick. That's what I said. You know, you got to have the right angle on taking the pecker pick. You know what I'm saying? Alexa says, laughing my ass off, always making us hungry. Well, if you've had those Sweet Dogs.
4749 Southwest 8th Street.
There you go. 4749 Southwest 8th Street. I'll be there after the show to have my own dog, baby.
It says on the site, no, I'm going to guess they're probably closed before, but it says 10. If I had to guess, it's probably 8 or 9, right? That's
what
most
PM you meant to open?
Being
I have no idea. I have no idea.
I thought supermarkets were open till 9, man. I'm finding out most of them are closing at 8 o'clock.
Oh yeah,
they're not even open till 9.
Yeah. I can find out. Let me see here.
Yeah, because that closing thing, if somebody drives a little bit of a ways and you get there, you're 15 minutes, it's 8:15 and they're closed, you're going to be pretty unhappy.
Right. No, I got
And
you.
the other thing is, at that time, there may not be any options, you going there, right?
Yeah. Oh, you're right. I doubt they're open that late. I would venture maybe 7, the latest they're open in that place right now, because of everything that's gone on. That's the only reason why I would think
get
they're
the
not.
front, get the early dinner rush, whatever this, that, and whenever it stops, you're close the doors. Bye.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
That's the other thing, man. Being open, if you're not doing business, now you're losing money. You know what I mean? You have to be kind of selective with your hours. You can't be open and not doing business. Things are hard enough already. You don't need more overhead.
No, I'm with you. Alex says Favre is teaching everyone to throw touchdowns to the opposing team. Okay. Everybody's got all kinds of stuff that they've got Favre teaching folks all kinds of different things. Big O coming at you from Colorado again, enjoying my doobie while listening to one of the best in the biz. Do you think Rosen has a chance to start the season if they have open competition? He does, but he's got to go out and completely ball out. I don't know what kind of a preseason. I don't know what kind of a training camp. If everything is also, condensed, that also makes it that much harder for Rosen to come through and beat Fitz. Okay? So remember, I'll be out there like by 2:40, I think I'll be out over at Sweet Dogs on 47th and 8th Street. So I just asked my guy, Victor, till what time they're open. I'm waiting for him to give me an answer, and then we'll get it on and we'll have a little fun with that. So I hope to see some of you out there over at Sweet Dogs on 47th and 8th Street, which will be good. Gus says Cards game at 4:05, Bills at 1:05. Okay, but what day? You know what I mean? What day is the thing? Don't forget to subscribe while you're watching the show. As always, appreciate that, and share the link with folks out there while you're watching the program. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, besides Brett Favre pretty much stealing money from Mississippi, Cam Newton. And I saw this article the other day, and I wanted to talk a little bit about it because this is one of those where it's really interesting, and you've got to understand where you're at in your career and what the situation is. And so, according to a report, Cam Newton has no interest in being a backup whatsoever. He wants to be a starter. No matter what, he wants to be a starter. Now, he's coming off the Liz Frank injury with the foot. He's got the bum shoulder. Some of you out there wanted the Dolphins to sign him. I wasn't a fan of that because if you sign him, then you've got to change everything to his style, and your backup quarterback doesn't fit what he does. So then you've got to get a backup quarterback that fits what he does. So that's where it becomes a kind of a hairy situation. And then here's the other thing. Cam wants to get paid. I keep thinking that Cam Newton could end up sitting out the year when it's all said and done. I don't think that's a good idea on his part. I think for him, he's got to swallow his pride a little bit here. I get it, Carolina screwed him over, but he might be better off going somewhere where he might be the backup, but with a chance to start, because maybe it's an injury-prone starter, a young starter that could struggle, those kind of things. Now, here's the other problem with Cam. And that's one of the things that you have to be concerned about is if you bring him onto your team, he's such a lightning rod that he's going to bring attention to himself and put pressure on the starting quarterback. And Cam, I don't know if Cam realizes that, but he will be toxic to a certain extent. And it's really weird how it's all kinds of different things coming together for Cam, and they're all negative. The COVID thing doesn't allow people to work him out, doesn't allow people to check him out the way they could. Foot, shoulder, all of that. His demands become unrealistic because people have made already decisions. His presence is a magnifying because he's got a big personality. He's not a low-key guy. Andy Dalton could go from starting to backing up Dak Prescott with no problem because people don't look at him like a franchise guy. Whereas Cam is a guy that was the league MVP, took a team to the Super Bowl. People know that he's not like we all know he's not a great passer, but he's a great talent, great player. And he wills things at times to happen, but it's his style of game that you have to be tied to. And remember, he can't play the game in the pocket. He's not a good enough passer. So it says Cam Newton being released. Newton has no plans to sign with a team as a backup. Joseph Person of The Athletic reports the 30-year-old can't find a team that's interested in bringing him in as a starter in the near future. He's content to wait until an injury opens up an opportunity. Okay? No way Cam Newton signs with anyone as a backup. He'll continue to rehab and wait for travel restrictions to lift so teams can examine him. Worst case, he waits until a starter gets hurt. Now, the problem with Cam is he has to wait for a starter that's in his kind of offense to get hurt. Because if it's a team that has a traditional offense, traditional drop-back quarterback, and that's their backup, they're not all of a sudden going to switch to Cam, especially in the middle of a season. They don't want to do stuff like that. That's the part Cam doesn't understand. So it has to be offenses that are in place already. Like they signed Anthony Gordon in Seattle. God forbid Russell Wilson goes down. You don't want to throw Anthony Gordon into the fire. Now you go sign Cam Newton. Lamar Jackson. RG3 is a jag at this point. Lamar Jackson's a complete freak. Okay, nobody can run the ball like that guy. Okay, he's Barry Sanders in the way he runs the ball. I know he's not a great passer either. But in that kind of an offense, that's the Cam Newton type offense too. Now, Cam is not going to be nearly as elusive as Jackson. Jackson can outrun people and he can avoid tackles. That's not Cam. Cam's a Mack truck, and he's going to get 8 yards. And if he has to go through 3 people to get him, he'll do that because that's who he is. But that's his style of game. So not only does he have to wait for an injury, he has to wait for an injury that fits his style of play. And that's where it becomes a real problem for Cam. I mean, this COVID thing has affected all of us around the world one way or another. In our business, in our lives, in our hobbies, all of that, man. It doesn't matter what it is. It's really amazing. And for Cam, it affected him big time because it did not allow him to really connect with teams to give him a chance. Now, he's as limited as it gets in order to add him.
He's almost sitting there waiting for somebody to go down, right? Open up a spot. That's it. That's the only way.
That's what he said. That's it.
It's pretty much.
That's all the report says right there, is that's what he's going to do. But that limits him to where he can end up.
God, a former league MVP, #1 in the draft.
Yep.
National man.
Yeah. But he's not a good passer.
The resume, resume,
yeah.
And to be
because the guy's
on the outside looking
the guy's a player. The guy's a player. You know what I mean?
Is it the injury? Is it the injury?
Well, I mean, it's a Liz Frank injury that
right?
you don't know, and he's also coming off the shoulder. And then his style of play is also very dangerous.
If he had gotten back and played 5 or 6 games and played decent, not great, decent, does he have a job?
Maybe, yeah.
It is that injury.
Yeah, because they know he's healthy at least. Yeah. Gus 1388 says, Sario, week 2 at Cards 4 p.m., week 17 at Bills 1 p.m. Wow. So the Arizona game is until week 16? Oh, no, week 2. Okay, week 17 is Bills. Okay, all right, that makes sense. All right. I listen and work sometimes. I miss out on the chat entertainment like today as it's super busy. Thank you. And you know what? I have not answered on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322 11:05 here on the accidentlawfirm.com.
Let's do that on the other side.
All right, let's do that.
You burned through another half hour, brother.
All right, let's do that. Let's get this quick break in. We do want to remind you about EJD Construction. Call Eric and the great people out there. And listen, because of COVID-19, they use gloves, masks, along with all other OSHA requirements. They arrive on their sales appointments with masks and gloves as well. And first responders will get their development rates. Eric is as professional as it gets. I'm not talking about a handyman. I'm talking about you want to redo that kitchen. You want to redo that man cave. You're looking to do something in the front yard, the backyard. You want to add a waterfall to your pool, whatever it is.
You said they could do like that James Bond stuff, right?
Yeah, they can take the TV out of the floor, out of the wall. EJD Construction, folks. 305-318-4978. Fully insured, liability, all of it. $2 million in liability, $1 million in workers' comp, and of course, they have great communication. That's how they end up creating what you want in your mind and make it happen in real life. Call EJD Construction. Go to the website, ejdconstruction.com, 305-318-4978.
It's a at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with zero down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021. At Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
We back. I don't know how to react to this. This is absolutely amazing. Stephen W. Phillips. And listen, Stephen, you and I have been going back and forth for many years. Your loyalty to our program has been amazing. You and I go back and forth on Twitter all the time. And I appreciate you, as always, being a just incredibly loyal to our program and sponsors and all that. If I remember correctly, Stephen, last year you went to Dandy Donuts, and even you were in town for a game, and I think you purchased a box of donuts and took a picture and posted it and all that stuff. And so you and your son all the time going back and forth. And you just chimed in on the super chat, and my brother, obviously a record of $500. That is just absolutely amazing, Stephen. Thank you so much These are the things that are going to help us grow and be able to cover more events and give you guys the sports show that you don't get on any of the intercom stations because they're full of politics and, whatever stuff and people that don't, they can't bring it to the table on an everyday basis. So wow. Steven, I can't say enough, man. Thank you so much. That's amazing, dude. That is that's a record that's probably going to stand for a long, long time. Okay.
I got goosebumps.
I think that's the max, actually. I don't think you can go any higher than that. So only somebody could match it. I don't think they can beat it, Steven. That is, and especially in these times, that was one of the things I was worried about with the Super Chat, that right now we've got some tough times going on right now. Our country's starting to open up now, and hopefully we could get people working again. But you guys have been very active on the Super Chat throughout, and I thank you so much, man. Really, just absolutely amazing. Thank you, Steven. Cannot say enough right there, man. Wow.
I got goosebumps, man. That was like, what?
Wow. Yeah.
Like,
and Steven says, Big O is the best. I've been listening to him forever throughout the sports radio station changes. Yes, you have, Steven. You have followed us from station to station, but we're done with stations, bro. We're not doing the station stuff anymore, man. I'm done with the politics. Thank you. And things like this are going to continue for us to get stronger and better here and put together a show every single day. So thank you all out there, man. All of you that donate, every single penny is awesome and appreciated. Steven, my brother, you took it to just an amazing level. Wow. So thank you. EM88 says, wow, he so deserves it. I don't know if I deserve it, but Bill and I definitely appreciate it, man. Okay? And Steven says, I usually listen to the podcast at night, working during the day. All right, there you go. All right, good stuff. Drubo says, we'll let you know you don't have to give Jack just a like or dislike and sub. He is the real deal, like it or not. Okay? All right?
What we want probably more than anything else is the engagement.
Yeah.
The interacting, you're an element of the show.
Yeah,
all of you.
Definitely. To give you guys an idea, I generally don't follow sports or even necessarily enjoy them, but this show has been my favorite for a week now. That just speaks to how awesome he is. Wow. Well, EM88, I don't know about me being awesome, my brother. I'm just a regular guy, saying the things that most of you see and say, and you need somebody to say it for you, and that's kind of what I try to be. So I appreciate all of you out there, man. That's very, very kind. I'm just floored, man. Absolutely floored. Torrance says, guys, let's show our appreciation and get these hardworking folks $1, guys. If we did that, we will be great, in especially these hard times. Big O is our escape. Thank you. You're my escape too, by the way. Okay? Getting to do this every day is also a pleasure for me. Okay? There's no doubt in my mind. I work my ass off every day to make sure that we can do this.
Could you imagine where we would be mentally? No sports, no concerts, no show.
Oh, no.
Like I would feel really. I mean, I already feel sorry for your wife. I would really, really, really feel sorry for your wife.
Yeah.
All that and no show.
Yeah. Well, at least she doesn't have me, at 3:30 in the morning banging some chick out there on Snapchat. So at least she's got me at home, and that's good. That's good. Let's see. Derek says, epic move, dude. So Steven getting a lot of love on the chat, man. Appreciate you, Steven, man. Thank you all out there. Just, Derek says, been addicted to the O show since I found this on the tube. Thank you. Thank you all. And clearly you're sharing it with other people because that's why we've grown, that much, man. So, again, I can't say enough about this. Now, all right, Steven, thank you, man. Just throws me off a little bit here. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, because it's kind of Dolphin related a little bit, and the Jags, we've watched a couple of situations this offseason. One, I talked about how Cam Newton's trying to find a home, but he can't. It's really difficult for him to find that home. because of everything that we talked about, right? And so now you look at what's it called, Fournette, and here's a guy that wanted also to find a home, right? Because he wants a new contract and he wants a home. And so Fournette, the Jags could not trade him. He's going into his final year of his deal. And they're not going to pick up the fifth-year option, which they shouldn't. He had a really good year last year because he was looking for a contract. And he's been injury-prone all throughout his career. He's been lazy. He doesn't show up to meetings on times, things like that. He's screwed up a lot, okay? And I know some of you out there, and as any fan, you get desperate for any position when you can't fill it, right? And people couldn't fill the quarterback position. And that's why the Tua thing grew more and more and more, because we haven't had a quarterback since Marino. Running back is a position of need too, and you saw how bad it was last year. And so a lot of people are like, hey, you know what? The answer is Leonard Fournette. And I told a lot of people normally that no, Fournette is not the guy, and I would never trade for the guy. Plus, he needs a new contract. So you're going to have to give up a pick or two. I don't know what Jags want. And you're going to have to give him a new contract. Plus, he's not a professional. No way. So now the Jags are stuck with him. They used a very high pick to select him, and now they're going to lose him at the end of the year for absolutely nothing. He could get traded at the deadline, by the deadline, to somebody, but it won't be for that much because they're only renting the player for a couple of months or a month or two. I don't know what it is, depending on when the deadline is, how long the season is. I have no idea.
At best, what? We've seen fourth-round picks for really quality backs, right?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe that. And so that's why the Leonard Fournette move is going to stay where it was, because he has not gained any kind of trust with anybody in this league. And the 1 year he had last year, and he caught 70 balls, by the way, which, he ran for 1,100 yards, caught 7 balls. That's pretty damn impressive, dude. Okay? That's freaking impressive that you can do that. And yet, he's got talent to be a really good back, but he hasn't been able to put it all together. And you kind of make your own bed. And that's what he's done. And here's the other thing. He did it at a position that is not valued. And unless you're considered Zeke Elliott, unless you're considered Saquon Barkley, Todd Gurley before the knee injury, unless you're one of those kind of special guys.
Le'Veon Bell before leaving the girls at the house so he could go work out.
Yeah. Le'Veon Bell before he left the Steelers. Because basically, Le'Veon Bell is no longer that guy now that he's with the Jets. And by the way, Frank Gore will probably outrush him this year because Adam Gase is the coach. But whatever. So with Fournette, he kind of made his bed. And now, I'll tell you this. If the Dolphins are in a playoff position and they want to rent a guy, they got 11 picks next year, right? 11, 12 picks, whatever it is next year. They got a bunch of them. And they want to rent a guy down the stretch to help him in the running game and he can catch the ball. Rent, not sign long term. That could be an option next year or this coming season, I'm saying. If you got 7, 8 wins and you got 6 wins, let's say, and there's 7 games left. You got a great shot, and Howard got dinged up or Breida got dinged up, and you want to trade for Fournette just to kind of fill it out, I would do that because you're going to get a motivated player that needs a new contract, so he's not going to be, a D-bag. And so now you'll get a guy that's motivated. You'll use him for your needs to get to the playoffs and then get rid of him. You know what you do? You know what you do with Fournette if you can trade for him midway through the season? you do a CC Sabathia and the Milwaukee Brewers. You guys remember that? What was that, maybe 8-10 years ago? Milwaukee was on the brink of the playoffs. They traded for CC right before the trading deadline, and I swear to you he pitched every other day. I swear to you he pitched every other day. I mean, they burned. I don't know how his arm didn't fall off that year, but that's what I would have done because they didn't have any intentions on keeping him. So that's the only way I could see you acquiring Leonard Fournette, that you're on the brink of a playoffs, one of your guys got injured, and you run him into the ground in the last part of the season. You don't care if he can walk straight when it's all said and done.
Back in the day, you treat him like Ricky Williams.
You treat him like CC Sabathia, like the Brewers treated him. Exactly. No, you're not on.
I love that when it went down, obviously being a Yankee, because when he moved, I knew when the season's over, we're going to pay.
Right.
And we did get him. But
Yep, I'm with you.
Doesn't Fournette come across as a guy that his heart's not in it, right? He's not a real football player, correct?
Who?
Fournette.
Oh, yeah. Well,
the effort, there's always injury. Like, he's got a hangnail. He's not playing,
Right.
Like, he doesn't work his craft. He doesn't really care. His heart's not there.
Right. Yeah, I just had to get rid of some clown there, obviously, spewing this crap. Mike Dominguez, I think kids are going to start avoid playing running back in the future, seeing how disrespected the position is in the NFL. Mike, you might be right. You might be right, my man. So Total Protection Group says, block that ass, clown. Oh, just did. Okay? If you see it anymore, tell me, but I think we blocked him out. Okay? George says, Steven, classy move. Thank you for doing what you all do, what all of us wish we could afford to do. Wow, George, that's very, that statement alone right there is very nice. Thank you. There you go. So yeah, we did get rid of that loser there. Let me go to the accidentlawfirm.com text line 786-322-1105. Steven, you still have me floored, bro. I mean, really, you have me floored, man.
You've got them all discombobulated over here.
I sent the email subject line YouTube show ideas. Oh, okay. I will check it out. Thank you. Hey, if any of you ever want to email me, I don't mention that enough, and I should mention it on every show. If you ever want to get into, you want to send me an article, send me a picture, maybe you have any breaking news, like something behind the scenes that I could learn about or whatever, or you just want to tell me how much you love the show, hate the show, whatever it is, you can always email me. It's really simple. Orlando@BigORadioshow.com. Okay? Orlando@BigORadioshow.com is the easy way to reach out to us on our email.
I have one that they could send you, man, and they had talked about it. This goes back a little ways.
What?
The kids were supposed to do, no, this is the Big O Show.
Oh,
remember?
Yeah.
And
yes.
the kids were singing, and we heard that from a bunch of our listeners.
That's right.
And we never got any of those.
Yeah, record your kids doing, this is the Big O Show. Maybe we can use that stuff. We can mix it in and have some fun with that. Vegas and Denver, our AFC, will be in the mid to end of the season. NFC opponents will be at the beginning of the season. Cards, 49ers away, first 4 games, San Fran, Cards, Seattle, and the Rams. Okay? I just can't wait to see officially what it is, and then I'm just praying that we can actually travel to cover some of these games. I had planned to go to Vegas for the Fins Raiders, but would you still love to go even if we gather at a hotel or bar, Adam in Indiana, and love the Metallica shirt? Thank you, Adam. Adam, I mentioned it earlier. I think it's not a bad idea that even if they don't allow us in the stadium, if Vegas is open, I don't mind actually going to there for a couple of days, hang out in Vegas, right? And we can all watch the game at Tommy Rockers, okay? I don't have a problem with that. I think that's a great idea. I really do.
I have an idea.
I mean, we've all been in quarantine, right? This is a great way for all of us to get away a little bit, hang out with each other, have some fun. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a problem with that. I think that would be really, really cool.
We're at Tommy Rockers, 400 of us. The game is out of control. We're kicking their ass.
Well, that's what's going to
40
happen.
to whatever.
That's what's going to happen.
And we decide, you know what? Let's leave, go down to the stadium, and from afar get by the Dolphin buses and let them see us 400 people. We did show up at the game,
We could do that.
right?
We could do that.
Because we're going to be kicking their ass. We don't have to see the last.
I don't
10
have a
or 12
problem.
minutes.
I don't have a problem with that at all.
Unless maybe Rosen gets in the game. Then we have
Right.
to watch Rosen.
Right. No, you're right. You're right. Then Rosen throws for a couple touchdowns, and then Gruden calls us and gives us a first rounder for him. And there you go. Let's see. John from Ohio, how do you feel about Ross as the owner of the Dolphins now as compared to the first few years? What do you think he has learned as time as his owner? Well, he, like anything else, John, in Ohio, I think what Stephen Ross learned is you make mistakes, and then you learn from those mistakes, and you correct those mistakes. And he went with a lot of the shiny objects. He did that orange carpet crap. He did a lot of he was star-studded and all this. Oh, let's go buy the best free agents. He hired Mike Tannenbaum. He made a lot of mistakes. He gave Philbin an extension when he didn't deserve it by winning a meaningless game against Minnesota, honoring the Gators and Tim Tebow when the stadium hosts UM. There were a lot of a ton of mistakes. Though where I give him credit is that he finally realized, like, wait a minute, dude. I fire everybody and they all keep Chris Greer around because everybody must have been checking on Chris Greer's reports. So his reports must have been pretty good and pretty consistent year in and year out because they're all on record. So he finally realized, like, okay, let me get a football guy, let me put him in place, and let me get the hell out of the way. No more orange carpets, no meetings with Ndamukong Suh at a Detroit Red Wings game where he falls in love with him. No more, I love Adam Gase. I interviewed him. He's going to be the next great coach. No. He got out of the way, and now he allowed Chris Greer to run the show, football-wise, free agency, coaching, all of that. And he got out of the way. The best thing he can do. Let the people that you hire do their job. What a concept. Hire, delegate, and then follow up. And that's what he's doing. And that's why we're seeing, hopefully, what is going to be a different football team from here on out. Okay? So, yeah, he learned. And I've always liked Ross. I've always been pissed off with him a lot of times because of stupid reasons, stupid things that he's done. But I've always given him credit for this. His heart is in the right place. He wants to spend, but he just doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And by the way, a lot of us that start a new business, we don't know what the hell we're doing. While I've been in radio for 30 years, and I know how to do a radio show, and I know how to connect with people, and I know how to talk about things that you want to hear about and talk about and those kind of things, right? But on the business side, on this technical stuff, and I'm learning, man. We started this we were on Facebook. I told these guys, I want to be on every service. I want to be on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Periscope, all of them. But then I didn't realize that now you're on 4 platforms. People want to connect with you on 4 platforms. In the middle of a show, I can't keep up with 4 platforms. And then you're spreading out your stats. So then I said, well, then let's just do it all on YouTube. That way I can keep up with the chat board on YouTube, and we can share the YouTube link on Twitter and Facebook and other places, and then people can come to YouTube. Well, guess what? It's worked. Now we put it all. But these are things you live and learn because I didn't know. We started off, we would post the entire show, and that's it. We never broke them down. And then people started asking us, hey, man, why don't you break it down into segments? So then we started breaking it down by half hours and by segments and interviews and rants. And lo and behold, people loved that because attention span, not a lot of people are going to click and watch an entire 3-4 hour radio show. But if you wanted to hear the Tom Garfinkel interview, you can go straight to it now. If you wanted to hear Richmond Webb, you can go to it. If you want to hear Larry Little, you can do that. Sean Salisbury, whatever. My rant on the Dolphins, my rant on the Panthers, my rant on this, that. If that's all you wanted to hear, then you can just pick it apart.
Yesterday's segment, tacos, ketchup, steak, and steakhouses.
There you go. And if that's what you want to hear, then go ahead. There's a lot of people that listen to the whole thing. But that's, these are things that I'm living and learning because I didn't have to do any of this stuff when I was doing radio for a long time. I just came in, I did my radio show, and that's it. I didn't have to worry about all the, the business side of it, the sponsors, all of the everything. I now have to worry about everything. And so I make my mistakes, a ton of them, so I can relate to Stephen Ross. And Stephen bought a new business that he might have been a fan of football. That doesn't make you a good businessman when it comes to the game. And that's what he's become because he's finally realized, okay, I'm going to hire Tom Garfinkel to run the organization, the franchise, the stadium and all that, and I'll get out of the way. I'll hire Chris Greer to run the football, and I'll get out of the way. When they need something, that's what I'm here for. And that's what makes him look great now.
Stay with me on this train of thought.
Yes.
When you said orange carpet, man, it lit a light bulb, okay? You remember the shots of J-Lo up in the suites and the Serena and the Williams and the orange and that whole thing and the way things were being done and the grabs for the flash. It's almost like a Jerry Jones, right? Like trying all the bells and whistles in this and look at all this and you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But the substance, the team.
Yeah.
And kind of like almost going like where Jerry Jones is with that,
Right.
How Jerry's like, yeah, we're 8-8, but the Dallas Cowboys were the number one talked about team this season on ESPN.
Money. Right, money.
And Ross finally got it.
Yeah. No, Ross finally is.
Jerry's still there,
totally
obviously. He wants if the cameras and the lights on, he's there with
Jerry,
the mic.
to his credit, has let Stephen Jones run the football
and
end.
He has done an amazing job.
So he's learned too.
We aspire
a lot of mistakes that he's made. He still handles the business side of it. He still dabbles a little. He wanted Johnny Manziel. They had to talk him off the ledge and say, yo, no Johnny. We're not getting Johnny.
Wow.
He wanted Johnny Manziel in the first round.
How different would that team be?
Right. And they went and then no. We'll take Dak in the fourth instead. And there you go. The rest is history. Let Stephen Jones make the picks, not Jerry Jones.
Stephen Jones, speaking of, we aspire to have the same situation that Stephen Jones has created.
Right.
Bunch of great draft picks, and you ain't got enough money to re-sign them all.
Right. Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly. All right, let's take a quick break since we're here at the bottom of the hour, and we are at Toyota of Hollywood. And we do want to remind you that the show is proudly brought to you by Mudias Dental. We love talking about Mudias Dental. Eric Mudias and company, man, they do an awesome job. 305-821-0231. Listen, if you right now are in pain, you need to call them, okay? Because they can handle all the emergencies right now. You got a cavity, you need a root canal, whatever it is. Call my friends at Mudias Dental. They will take care of you. 305-821-0231. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, MudiasDental.com.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021. At Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right.
This is the Big O Show.
Ramona K says, I went to a game where they had orange carpet. Gloria Stefan, J-Lo, etc. Jimmy Buffett even played before the game. Glad those days are behind us. Yes. The fluff is gone. The substance is in. And that's why I think they're headed in the right direction right now.
The Jimmy
for the Miami
Buffett
Dolphins.
situation, was that pre-Shark Stadium or
Landshark, you mean?
Yeah, like did he do it and then Landshark developed?
Yeah,
or
Landshark came right after that. Yeah.
Okay.
Right after
So
that.
that was the in.
Yeah.
Get that.
RVA is a big, fine fan, although I live in Richmond, Virginia, Redskins country. Local radio indicates Alex Smith planning a comeback today is also his birthday. No, I'm not surprised. I know he's planning a comeback. I just don't want him to play. That's all I'm saying. That injury was too gruesome. He's made more than enough money. You know, he's got a beautiful family. Dude, go retire, bro. Just enjoy the rest of your life. You don't need to prove anything to anybody. He was a solid quarterback. Nothing great or anything. Not this franchise guy that you really want or anything. But I'm just, if I'm him, that thing was so gruesome. I just don't want to see it. It's like Wes Welker. I didn't want to see Wes Welker when there was some talk a few years back of him trying to come back with all those concussions. I just didn't want to see him again, man. Not at all. Did you see Evander Holyfield? He's 57, and he is now going to do, I don't know if you call it a comeback, but he is going to fight an exhibition match, right? Now, Tyson is also training for an exhibition match. A lot of people think that these two are actually tied together in their exhibition match, and I don't know. But Evander Holyfield, put out, the champ is back. I'd like to announce that I will be making a comeback to the ring. I will be fighting in an exhibition match or in exhibition matches for a great cause. If you've ever seen Holyfield, he just doesn't look like he's there.
That's what I was thinking, man. Please don't do this, please.
Right. And now I know this is a charity match, but you're still going to get hit, and Tyson, look, man, Tyson is a beast, but he's also up there in years too. And these guys really, I get it that they're doing.
You saw the workout numbers.
Yeah.
That Tyson's throwing as fast and as hard as a punch as he did when he,
Well, and listen, I'm sure he can throw.
When I saw that,
I'm sure he could throw a hard punch, bro. That guy's a sledgehammer.
You know what I was thinking? The Rocky movie, Goran Dragic. What was the guy's name? The Rocky movie.
Oh,
with the
you're
Russian.
talking about Drago.
Yes, I break you.
Yeah, I must break you.
Where he punches the square and 8,000 square feet. That's what I was thinking of.
Right, when he's all juiced up. Yeah. No, you're right. But I don't want to see those guys fight. And Evander's already punch drunk as it is. Why add to it? I just saw that, and it made me kind of sad. And I know you're doing it for charity, but couldn't you get like Tyson Fury or somebody else to have some fun for charity, and then that way it kind of looks half decent? Older guys like that, I'm just afraid of something happening in the ring. And look, man, anger develops, rage develops. You know, maybe somebody gets a lucky shot in and then really pisses you off, whether you're Tyson or Holyfield. Although Holyfield, I can see, is the guy that doesn't lose his cool. Mike Tyson can lose his cool and bite your ear off. You know? I just saw that, and it was like, man, that is such a weird thing to be, you know, involved in if you're in boxing and watching Tyson and Holyfield trying to make
They should be told this only works in the movies. Remember Rocky came back, you know, did the fight against the champ, whatever, the last one. It was good. That's only in the movies. Don't do this in real life, please.
Cubano in North Carolina says, man, I respect Evander, but not sure he can even beat Glass Joe at this point. I'm not, you know, Cubano out there in North Carolina, dude, I'm not so much worried about that. I'm just worried about injuries, you know, permanent injuries, any kind of brain injury, any kind of, you know, accident that could happen to them. That's really what I don't really care about, the winning or the losing. I just care about the possible long-term damage that any of these guys could suffer doing something like this. If you tell me that they're just going to be screwing around and this is going to be a total fluff exhibition thing, then I'm good. But the way that Tyson was warming up, he's looking to hit somebody. Okay? And Tyson probably hasn't hit somebody in a long time. So it's probably like a volcano that's building up right now for Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? It's like the first time that Tim Tebow has sex. You know, that first orgasm could actually like explode and kill the woman because it's been trapped up in his body for 40 years. Weird, right? Built up cheese. Anyway, Lolo Jones is another one that, is she still holding out? Has she gotten married? How do you do that, by the way? How are you celibate that long? How can you do that? Especially on the male side, when all we ever do is think about sex. Rocky versus Thunder Lips. Tyson should bite the other ear off. It would be worth every penny. Can you imagine if it is Tyson and Holyfield, and then Tyson gets so pissed he bites off the other ear? That would be hilarious, dude. So, King Short, he wants to find out from Cubano, what part of North Carolina are you in? There we go. Alexa, Drubo says he works for Chicken Alfredo and Steak. It's not bad. That's pretty good. Tebow has been masturbating. Oh, okay. All right. So then he has been releasing. You know about this?
No,
Okay.
did he get married? He has a place to put it now.
I think so. He has a car to he has a garage to park his car now.
Exactly.
Okay, I didn't know
Well,
that.
hopefully. I mean,
I didn't know that.
The wife could say no. I
didn't know that. I didn't know that. Some music news, by the way. Kraftwerk co-founder Florian Schneider passed away due to cancer at the age of 73. So Kraftwerk loses one of their co-founders and originators. They started back in 1968, Kraftwerk. That's maybe the most influential band ever. Easily one of the 4 most influential music bands ever, period.
I can't remember. Are they one of the ones that got into the rock and roll?
No.
They were one of the ones on the outside.
They have been denied 6 or 8 straight times already, which, again, is you know how it sounds crazy if you don't know enough about the music, but but Kraftwerk actually deserves to go into the Hall of Fame before most bands. Okay? Like Kraftwerk is right up there with Led Zeppelin and the Beatles and Elvis Presley and all those kind of bands. They're right there. Because when it comes to electronic music, they're the godfathers. Just like Black Sabbath is in heavy metal, and Led Zeppelin probably in hard rock, and Elvis Presley in regular rock and roll, and, whatever you want to put, Melly Mel and Sugar Hill and all those guys in rap back in the day, all that stuff.
Creating
Grandmaster Flash, same thing.
They created instruments, synthesizers, the keyboard, hooking up computer.
Yep.
They were one of the first.
Yep. That's what people don't realize, that they are maybe the most influential band ever, because the entire genre was created by them.
Maybe they're in the Musical Instrument Hall of Fame because of creating instruments to do electronic.
I have no idea.
I'm being sarcastic.
I know, I get it, but maybe they are, actually. I have no idea. But that's crazy that they have not made it in there. Okay.
Sad that he passes away, and they were right on the brink of getting. It just doesn't make sense, man.
Yeah.
Don't get it.
Nicolas Cage makes several movies, right? Right. He's made quite a few movies in his career.
And he spent a lot of that money too, man. You can't wait to spend it.
They just picked him for a perfect role. You could probably nail all kinds of roles for Nicolas Cage, but dude, they just picked him to play Joe Exotic on Tiger King. So they're gonna make a Tiger King movie, and Cage has been tabbed to play Joe Exotic. And I got to tell you something, there isn't a better person to play Joe Exotic than Nicolas Cage. That is fantastic. When I read that, I was like, wow. I don't know if you can pick a better person, because he's so aloof as it is.
Is he getting typecast for his persona?
I don't know. All you got to do is dye his hair, give him a mullet, and put a mustache, and he's ready to go to play Tiger King. Like, if you've watched the Tiger King show on Netflix, the documentary, then you know enough about Joe Exotic. And if you've watched any Nicolas Cage movies, then you know what the hell I'm talking about. Perfect. I mean, you couldn't have nailed it better for that movie than Nicolas Cage. That is awesome. Now the question is, who plays all the other roles? Who plays Carol? Who plays the crazy woman that allegedly killed her husband? Okay? Because, I don't think I've met a person yet that thinks that Carol is innocent. Everybody's convinced that she killed her husband. So who's going to play crazy Carol? And I'm trying to think of what, I'm kind of Sybil Shepherd, which is crazy to think that you would pick Sybil Shepherd 30 years ago because she was so beautiful, but she hasn't aged that well. And she kind of gives me a little bit of that Carol look almost to her nowadays. She might be able to play Carol in that movie. And she's talented enough that she could play a little crazy. Now, what's her name? The really pretty one from The Italian Job, and she played Eileen Warner's the Black Widow.
Oh, Charlize
Theron.
Yeah,
Charlize Theron's another one because of what they did with her when she played that the hitchhiking woman that was killing people.
Oh, yes. She won the Academy Award.
Academy
Award for it, man.
Yeah, she gained weight, and then they did makeup. She could play Carol too, because she's a really good actress. But the Nicolas Cage for Joe, wow. You couldn't have picked a better person for that role, man.
Hey,
that is a
Sybil.
fantastic role.
Hey, Sybil, you could have a job.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Myron says Trans-Europe Express. That's right, baby. Depeche Mode can thank Kraftwerk. A lot of bands can thank Kraftwerk, bro. So I heard if you hit the like, you get a big O. Exactly, that's it. So hit the like, subscribe, you will get the big O. Nothing wrong with that. Just ask her. Let's see, what else do we have here? Miguel Garcia says, you want Clinton to play Joe Exotic? That's funny. Kathy Bates as Carolyn Baskin. Susan Sarandon as Carolyn Baskin. Okay. That's not bad, actually. That's actually pretty good. Nicole Kidman radically is chiming in with that. The role he was born to play, yes, isn't it? I mean, Joe Exotic for Nicolas Cage is perfect. Charlie Sheen would have been a great Tiger King. No, what you do is you make Charlie Sheen the boyfriend. The lady from Misery. Yeah, the only thing is she's a little too old now at this point. So she probably can't. I don't even know if she's still with us. I got to be nice. Meryl Streep could win an Oscar for that Baskin role. Well, Meryl Streep can win an Oscar for anything. She's so good. How about Kate McKinnon? My problem with that, DJ Gallagher, is if Kate McKinnon plays Carol, I can't take her serious. Because I laugh with Kate McKinnon because all of her roles just make me laugh on SNL. I love Kate McKinnon, man. She does an awesome job. Dean G says, great show today. Thank you. Call of Duty 1 says, Kathy Bates as Tiger King would be good. Let's see, what else do we have? Jacqueline Bethune says, Dolphin Bills January 3rd. Kate McKinnon will play Carol Baskin in a new drama based on the Netflix documentary Tiger King, according to Men's Health. Really? Is she really going to do it, or are you guys just joking with me and screwing around? I don't know if I could take her serious now. I got to see her do a serious role. Folks that decided who to put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame are morons or high. I think they'd try to induct Menudo before Rush. I mean, think about it, dude. Think about this. T-Rex got in before a whole bunch of bands, including Kraftwerk. Like, T-Rex has never made any kind of impact in American music compared to Kraftwerk. It's not even close. Kraftwerk's impact all over the world is crazy. How it impacted our world is crazy. It's not even close. But T-Rex didn't even deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, and they put him in the Hall of Fame. So you are correct. There's plenty of idiots on there, and they don't know squat. The mom from the Goldbergs TV show. Oh, yeah. That's a pretty good one, dude. I like that one. Okay? That one's awesome.
Well, I just thought of this.
Julia Roberts, somebody chimed in with. Yes.
Kraftwerk doesn't do what they do. WLRN New York, the 80s music out of the, Human League. There's so many, bands you think about. That whole 80s genre.
Yeah. Disco might have been affected by it because they...
No Yaz, no Erasure.
Disco and freestyle music used a lot of stuff from them.
The Red Bus? The 12-inch singles, Den Haro.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You're talking about the dance alternative.
Yeah, that
all that
was affected by Kraftwerk. Kraftwerk is one of those bands that are the greatest of all time. They're right up there with all those other bands. It's a different kind of music and all that, but what they mean to their music is exactly what Jimi Hendrix means to guitar and what Elvis Presley means to rock and what Albert King means to the blues and Aretha Franklin to R&B and soul. It's the same thing. There's no difference. And the fact that they're not in the Hall of Fame it's insulting. Anybody that knows music knows that that's insulting.
It shows what a clown show that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they're judging, and who they nominate and you guys don't get it.
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. The other story that I saw on the music side that I found kind of funny was a deal that was going on with Future, the rapper. He was in court with his 7th baby mama. Okay? 7th baby mama. Now, apparently, she is spreading rumors. So he wanted to kind of control the payments to her because of his reputation. It's being ruined by her. Okay, now I want you to let that marinate in there. What kind of a reputation does Future have anyway? I'm just wondering. What's his reputation? Like we're talking about his 7th baby mama. Okay? I mean, it's great for his kid that he gets to be with Russell Wilson, because that way he can actually learn how to be a real man and not a punk like Future's been pretty much his entire life. Any loser that has 7 baby mamas is a guy that obviously doesn't get it. Obviously a guy that you can't be a good father. Okay? We've had this conversation before. You can't have kids in every state and be there for all of them. It's impossible. And I just find it funny that he wants the judge to eliminate payments because she's hurting his reputation. Only in Future's mind does he actually think he has a good reputation. Who looks up to Future? Who the hell would? Why? Because he's famous? Because maybe he still has a couple of bucks left in his pocket? And I say that because his ass ends up broke as hell. Because if you're stupid enough to have 4 baby mamas, you're dumb enough to have 5. And then you're dumb enough to have 6. And you're dumb enough to have 7. So obviously you're dumb enough to continue to produce kids that you can't take care of, and eventually you won't be able to afford. Because every one of those baby mamas is going to want to have your lifestyle. And so if you got to keep paying 20, 25 grand every month to 7 baby mamas, you do it. Well, 6, I guess. Right? Because Ciara doesn't need any help from him. Ciara makes her own money, and Russell Wilson's got enough money. That's the one kid out of the 7 that is saved. And if it's at least 7, that's the one kid out of the 7 that is saved. Because Ciara and Russell Wilson actually look like a real couple. I mean, Future, come on, man. Come on. Oh, Judge, you got to stop her. She's hurting my reputation. I saw it and was like, come on, man.
I want to know if Future came up with that or his lawyer.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that to me, that's, I just saw that and it was like, okay, so your reputation, like, what reputation do you have? Because he's got a defamation lawsuit against his baby mama. And it's like, come on, dude. You got 7 baby mamas. Oh, man. Too funny. Too funny. Billy Basson says, hip-hop's Planet Rock was inspired by Kraftwerk, too. That's the bass that ate Miami right there. Yeah, I mean, everybody was influenced in electronic and freestyle and disco.
Dude, yeah, rock to the planet, rock.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah, of course. No doubt. George Arthur says, I got 4 kids and 1 baby mama. Well, that's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to try to have all your kids with 1 baby mama. Look, I get it. People get divorced. If you got two women or two fathers, 2 husbands, ex-husbands, whatever, and a couple kids, I get that. It happens. But 7, come on, man. 7, you're so irresponsible. You're sticking it everywhere. You don't care about the results. You don't care what happens. And you think you can just, pay for it all. And you start doing the math, you're not going to be able to afford all of that. Eventually, you will end up broke. Super Boom Shack says, one of the ex-singers from Bad Company also passed away. Really? Okay. One of the ex-singers from Bad Company. All right, so it's not Paul Rogers. Who was the other one? I don't even know. You know that? I don't even know any other singer with Bad Company. Did Tua sign yet? I don't think he has officially signed, but that's not a big deal, man. All that stuff will happen. Big O, is it true that Celine Dion is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? What the F? Yeah, I'm pretty sure she is. I wouldn't be surprised if I mean, it has nothing to do. Remember, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is not really about just rock and roll. It really should be called the Music Hall of Fame. Okay? There is a hard rock and heavy metal Hall of Fame. I don't know if any of you know that. And they do induct bands every single year. Now it's obviously at a much smaller scale. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they do have a few inductees, and they have their own show. I want to say the show is aired on VH1 every year. So you can check it out, but it's called, I believe it's the Hard Rock and Heavy Metal Hall of Fame. And every year they're always inducting. So if you really want just real rock metal types, that's what you'll get there. But the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is really the Music Hall of Fame. That's why Celine Dion and Madonna and all of those get in. And look, I get your point. Even if it's not about that kind of music, you know, Kraftwerk should have been way in there years before Celine Dion or Madonna or any of those. You're right. I get where you're going. I think that's where you were going. Not so much about the genre itself. Let's see. So Armando is reporting that the Dolphins Chiefs on Friday, Christmas Day. Wow. All right. I like it. Smart. Both neighbors did too. I don't know what that is. Ty in the Bronx says, I was there the night Africa Bambaataa started Zulu Nation and 4 years later performed Planet Rock. All right. I love Planet Rock. Such a great tune. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to wrap it up here on the program.
No, in order for me to be able to go to Sweet Dogs, we need to have at least another 15 minutes.
And so I am headed out to Sweet Dogs now, tear down here, and then go. I should be there in about 40 minutes, I would imagine. It'll take me to get there. So appreciate all of you out there as always. Ray Grulon, Alexa V, George Arthur on the Super Chat. Thank you so much. Stephen W. D. Phillips. Sir, you are an absolute amazing stud. Thank you for your donation and helping us grow in a big-time way. It means everything, Stephen. Thank you, and thank you to all out there subscribing to the show, giving us a like, all that stuff. Share the link, by the way, on social media so folks know about it. We appreciate it. Tomorrow, we're going to be out at Craig Zinn's, Acura of Pembroke Pines, starting off at 11 a.m. All right, so we'll be out there. Come on by and say hi.
Third field trip for the week.
That's right. And in about 40 minutes, if you're anywhere near 47th Avenue and Southwest 8th Street, go to Sweet Dogs. I'm going to be there. I'm going to have me a dog, baby.
4749.
4749 Southwest 8th Street. I felt like a hot dog yesterday. Couldn't do it because I had the meeting. Today, we will fill that craving with some of the best dogs in the world over at Sweet Dog. You all be good, okay? Take it easy.
See you tomorrow.